Hello, guys, once again. My name is Swan, and I'm glad to see y'all. And welcome back to Fall of Lumos, where the puns are many and the Arakakra are in the bar. We are currently joined by a wonderful player tonight who has not yet been introduced, but we're going to let his character get essentially thrown into the mix, because that's how we do it here on this game. But to kind of begin off with our session, can anyone give me an update to what happened at our last game?
Okay, which last one?
This would be the Nox's Horns event.
Oh, you kind of just spoiled it there, but all right. Well, as stated, Nox now has horns. For those that might recall, Nox had a certain situation revolving around a pair of goggles that he got, which were apparently and discovered to be slowly draining his intelligence until he was going to be that of a Neanderthal, almost comatose. So he went and talked to, well, actually, Rovan and Eris caught him absolutely losing his shit as he was trying to figure out why he was forgetting stuff. And his status slowly degraded from someone that kind of had his stuff together to, what did we call it? Hyper ADHD?
That's effectively.
Yeah, he wasn't having a fun time. So how much fun was Nox to deal with, people?
We succeeded in correcting the issue despite his best efforts. The issue was corrected with, and this is trademarked now, a Jeez-It cracker provided by our wonderful local clerics.
Think of like a casino token there, Emu, that when Eden cures you of your disease, but
well, actually,
yes,
Emo may understand it. It's like a communion wafer.
It's the community wafer, or as Rovan has now said, the Jeez-It wafer. It does not come in cheese.
It tastes like light.
Oh, here I am. Sorry about that.
Oh, Naya, we were just recapping what happened at the Jeez-It crackers.
The what? Oh, the Jeez-Its, yes.
It's now a thing. Anyway, so you guys had evidently cured Nox of some of his affliction. Go on.
Yes, and with that, they met with Nox's strange benefactors, the ones that gave him not only a key, but also these goggles, and that met for quite an interesting experience on all behalf.
Yes, the party was pulled into an illusionary world, which they wanted absolutely none of it, and were potentially shown another prophecy involving Veil, which they've decided absolutely means nothing, and we're not going to allow that to happen. A prophecy be damned.
Cause fuck prophecies.
Cause fuck prophecy.
Yep. Fuck prophecy, prognostication, and other such P words that I can't remember anymore. I'm sorry. I got started before I thought to finish.
Oh.
You guys exited your prophecy, and you did some light discussion between each other about the events going on and the futures you look forward to. And with that, if I'm not missing anything else that I can think off the top of my head.
Well, we had a big fight after the prophecy withdrew against...
Oh, yeah, you did. I'm so sorry. I'm the one who's apparently fallen asleep here. Yes, you did.
Massive creatures that were apparently part of a science experiment that escaped / arena creatures, right?
This is true.
And during this fight, well, it was stated beforehand, actually, that Nox would not take any of his gear out of fear of losing it. Or at least, he thought he didn't take all of his gear. But during this fight against these crystalline creatures, Rovan here did how many points of damage?
74. But oops, sorry, I interrupted that one. But
Nope.
go on, Roven.
I think he was excited
Nope,
to say that.
Rovan was able to take on one of these by himself while the rest of the party focused on the other, and as a result, all living that were there when we arrived remained living, and I'm very proud of that.
Actually, that was awesome. The fact that no one died. That was like huge kudos to
That
us.
was incredible.
And actually, one more thing must be stated. We quite possibly crippled the. We broke our GM.
Spent literally days ready, and you guys fucking 8 people. But yes, the players had done a fantastic job in minimalizing the damage, and because of that, they met with the 2 remaining unknown council members of the Droons, Drow, effectively council members, who thanked them for their efforts in minimizing the damage. And as they begin their own investigation as to what had happened to one of their demonic beasts, they had presented your group with a token of their favor, a witch ring, effectively a magic item, but also a symbol of their acceptance. And because of that, you guys have gained favor with the Drow Council now within Omea 6. So congratulations. High fives all around. But
We did it.
as we conclude tonight's...
Oh, hon, I guess we should probably say one more thing. Nox has
Oh.
horns.
Nox now has tiny bud horns, and Nia is trying to mount him on a wall.
No. Neo
Hey.
was curious that the horns would hold his weight, and it's like, I wonder if we could hang him from a wall. It's not that she's going to; it's that she's curious if it's possible. 2 different things.
This has not stopped your brother from already trying to talk with the contractor about how to mount Nox on the wall per your request.
Oh, I could see the total language barrier there where he's only going, you want to mount a what?
Buddy.
Yeah, so actually during this vision, I guess it's worth noting, because this is kind of big. Nox is... My character has fucking horns! And Nikki was part of this vision. Now, to what extent is unknown, but during Nox losing his shit and whatnot, Aniki reached out to them and quite possibly showed them something, protect them. It's really hard to say. The god is mysterious. But shortly after that, Nox's horns grew into full out fucking, was it elk antlers? Deer? I think it was elk you said. Right?
Yep, you had full antlers.
Point.
And they seem to have bestowed a magical property on a few people.
The power of allergies.
Yep, for some. But the interesting thing was the fact that after the battle, the antlers disappeared.
Almost
Leaving
completely. Nubs remain.
Leaving only the nubs.
Stop playing with the nubs.
Don't play with your nubs.
Indeed.
And now that we redirect our players back to the day, tell me, where did y'all sleep last night?
In a bed, hopefully.
I'm thinking we all went back to the tavern.
Y'all, now, just to mind you, your nights
Oh,
had
sorry.
already been complete, so you would have had to purchase rooms for the night, because unfortunately, Misa has spoken with her mother and told her we cannot afford free lodging for the rest of our time. We'd love to, but we can't.
Yes,
It's nice, but we can't.
I forgot we no longer have a room.
So you guys, your options were to sleep in your lot 56 location, which, mind you, has holes. You guys have been patching them up over the course of the last few days, but there's still a bit of a draft. You could also sleep back on your ship, or you could sleep outside, or you could purchase a room.
Nox has his full camping gear, and with compression there and all of his gear back on him, he has no problem rolling his bed out, his foamy mattress and sleeping bag to sleep on. Ooh, that's another thing he needs to enchant.
Rovan has found himself a perch on the roof of the warehouse and has been meditating and keeping watch all night, not trusting the an- anticipating another event such as the last one.
Nia,
Yes.
where did you sleep last
That's a very good question, actually. I hadn't really thought about it. Did everyone else get a room? I'm sorry, I spaced out very hard there and completely missed any explanation that happened.
Amira and Clank had both left to go sleep back on the ship. It's where their stuff was, and she, as a longtime sailor, feels comfortable inside of her own abode now that she knows that hopefully everything has been tip-top cleaned again. It's also nice to be on the ship next time it gets ejected.
Mia might have tagged along to the ship then.
Okay, back to the ship.
Yeah. She also wants to take a look. She's a little bit freaked after all of that bullshit. She wants to be sure. She needs to see with her own eyes that everything is, like, yeah, acceptably clean.
Oh, it's immaculately clean. Freshly pressed, if you will.
Very good, very good.
Eris, where did you sleep last night?
Wherever a spot wasn't made for me.
I mean, they've already arranged for you to have your own room on the ship. That it's mostly like a shared bunk.
I don't think I've been to the ship yet.
Yes.
You were taken there initially by Nox and crew.
Indeed.
They had to show you transfer of the Spelljammer effect between your character and others. So they had to kind of introduce you to the ship, show you around, show you where your lodging will be. But you're also free to sleep back at lot 56 if you want.
I'll do that.
Okay. So how do you sleep? Do you sleep inside, or do you sleep on the roof with Roven?
I'll just find a spot inside that's covered.
You take some time to kind of get your bearings
actually
around.
someone.
You find a nice heap of rope that will make a decent enough kind of resting location. But you're able to comfortably sleep through the night, albeit y'all having to deal with a little bit more wind than normal. But Roven, Roven and Eris, actually, since you both are there, as the morning progresses, outside you hear the tiny little footsteps of metallic clinks. And looking out the door, or if you do, you'll see a even smaller little head just at your door.
Wonderful. Trouble has once again found my door despite me having moved it.
That's a very good quote.
I like that. I really like that.
Brilliant.
Rowan, do we need to deal with this said trouble, or should we just investigate to begin with?
I'm hoping if we ignore it, it'll go away on its own, similar to how it arrived, but these things never work out in our favor, do they?
No, they don't.
Maybe we can throw rocks at it.
But you have the proper vantage point for it.
Hmm.
You guys just talking through a hole in the roof?
Possibly.
I suspect the one with wings has migrated to a higher place.
Oh yeah, I'll
Plane.
climb up on the roof by now.
After you guys seem to be discussing about the quality of having to deal with business, you note that the knocking has stopped. And you hear the tiny clinks walking away.
Fantastic. Problem has corrected itself.
Wait,
I'm back into your stone hole now, bro. Knox.
You're where?
And the morning continues.
What was that?
Can I
Eric?
see him walk? Is there anything I can see from walking away from up top on the roof there with Knox?
What? Nox isn't on the roof. Roven.
No,
I mean,
Nox is,
Robin. I meant Robin. Sorry.
Eris, as you look over the edge, you see a tiny auto gnome that seems to be walking away. He actually has a carrier outfit on, related to that of the registrar's office, and he takes his leave politely.
I
As you
will
look down,
fly down in front of him before it gets to the gate if we have one.
the tiny little auto gnome will kind of like jump up with surprise initially.
Not like directly in front of him, but kind of I'm not spooking the poor guy.
But,
Sorry, Mr. Delivery there, sir. I was in the other room. I didn't hear the knock until too late, apparently.
Which
do
room?
you
We
have
only
for us?
have one room.
Doesn't know that.
You see him kind of like give you a tiny salute. You know, his voice box has not been activated, but he actually turns, and when I say turn, I mean like his legs stay in place, but his body turns at a complete 180,
It's not
and he's actually
rotation like that.
and he's actually pointing at a small wooden box that's sitting at the front door of lot 56.
I dropped that there first. Thank you.
He turns back and kind of gives another tiny salute, and then proceeds off and down the road, back and towards the direction of the registrar's office.
Have a good day, sir. Thank you. I'll proceed to box and investigate it to begin with, because suspicious things are suspicious.
The box itself seems to be made of a very, I wouldn't say a very old wood, but it's not good quality. No actual markings towards a direction or any return address on it. And kind of flipping it over, it's about the size of a shoebox.
I'll call it. Relvin, we're expecting a package. Do you know of? Looks like it's labeled to the registrar's office, so I bring it in. Think it's good?
I don't know. Nox, have you ordered anything off of Amazon recently?
What?
You see Nox slightly crawling out of his. I don't know. Did you crawl out yet, or like your feet sticking out and then a longer set of feet from compression?
No, the compression's standing beside me, just staring. He's not down or anything. No, I mean, Nox's hand would poke out, grab his glasses as he pulls the sleeping bag down over his head. What? Yes?
A box from the registrar has shown up on our doorstep. I say we dunk it in the water and be done with it.
Well, of course you would. You put your trip on a serpent, so I'm not surprised you'd hate anything from the registrar's office. Hell, I bet register just makes your skin crawl.
I would have to say that my application of chirp to serpent is a very, very effective combination.
As long as you have a way of getting a hold of us, it matters not. I do not indeed indulge in forcing ideologies upon others or requirements. But I suspect it is our chirps that, or at least our upgrades for them, so that we can treat them as actual communicators instead of one-ways. Saves me from having to enchant 2 stones every day.
You did take the opportunity to upgrade after you guys had finished the battle, so all of you now have upgraded chirps, able to effectively communicate between each other. Congratulations.
Then we must definitely soak this box post-haste.
Eris is Rove is the only one who technically does not have a chirp after his very wonderful eel, who has found a very comfortable new barrel, much larger in size, had effectively shored out his last one.
Sorry, was that to Nox? Kaya just said goodbye, so...
Oh, no, Roven Roven's chirp is the only one that's not effective at the moment, as it was shored out during the last time. But,
Roven, where are you keeping the eel? Sorry.
He seems to find his own place. At the moment, he appears to have followed us to our new location. I believe he's in that barrel just to your left.
Nox is going to scurry away from the barrel. Thank you, because last thing I want to do is step on his tail. I think that would be quite a rather jolt in the morning.
It would be a rather shocking experience, I suspect.
Why hasn't Vale slapped me in the head yet for a pun? I take it Vale's not in the room?
Oh. You could do an investigation if you want, but the DC's low.
That's 15 plus 20, dirty 20.
320, she's definitely not in the building. Having you looked around, you can kind of see that her stuff is still in place. What little she actually leaves inside, but it looks like she's kind of stepped out for the moment and just journeyed off into the distance.
I want to make it clear there is no signs of a struggle or anything.
There is no sign of a struggle.
Something seems to have caught Vale's attention, I suppose. Hopefully she'll be able to catch up with us later. Is it just you two up there? I have yet to see Naya.
I do not know where she is at this point.
Eris, did you see where Naya went last night? I kind of passed out pretty hard. Having one's memory or mind come and go within a day is incredibly exhausting.
No, I can't say I have. I don't really know where she went.
Naya, how did you wake up this morning?
Face first in a pillow, practically inhuman, just flopping around.
You do smell the morning prep coffee already made, as Clank has already taken the liberties of preparing it as he hopes to do every day. But Amira has not woken up from her sack on the opposite side of the room. Your brother is politely sitting outside, Clank and him having the world's quietest conversation. He seems to offer coffee. Mortis pushes it back. He pushes back to him, and then that kind of cycles continues over and over of these two doing the world's politest "no you, no you."
So they're both Canadian.
They're both very Canadian.
Incredibly Canadian.
I just want to say there is something called the Canadian standoff.
I thought I invented that term.
Hmm?
I could have sworn I made that term up.
In Canada, it's essentially the no after you. Oh no, you go first.
Oddly enough, the part of New York that I'm from, we used to have those.
Yeah. Oh wow.
Kind of we're just very close to Canada.
I was going to say
It happens around here all the time too.
so. New York is now mini Canada. Well, I'm happier with that than mini Texas.
Buffalo parts of Buffalo are. It's changing. But yeah, up here, Maine is a huge problem. Like, it literally causes traffic jams. Only thing that causes traffic jam. Well, that and moose.
Just to keep on focus, I'm not going to make the comment I was going to make.
So Miss Naya is not with y'all at the moment, as she is still getting herself prepped and ready for the day over on the blast call.
Nox is going to radio in. Naya, are you on here? Did you get the upgrade?
I'm going to assume she has it, and she's going to just be like, yeah, yes, yeah, I'm, yeah, sorry, hi.
You're alive?
Ask me that in like half an hour.
Okay, when you're awake, join us at the base. Good night. Click.
You hear Mortis in the distance go, no. The question of, are you alive?
Well, it seems like our friend is asleep on the ship. Probably a better choice than being here. So yes, but in any case, she's in one piece.
How will you guys proceed?
Okay. What do we have going on?
You got a shoebox.
Oh, that was to the group, not to you, DM. You know what's going on, DM. You always know. You lord it over us.
Bush, you just see Sean sitting in the bush screen like, he's got a I don't understand. I literally just told him what's happening.
Oh, you.
Rovin, Eris. So, we have a 30-day limit on one of our investigations. Personally, I feel that's the best one to go after, seeing as that our other ones, well, they're at our leisure, even though our enemies may make it uncomfortable. Do you want to hit up this investigation about what happened to the Drippy Barrel first?
You will have to remind me. I don't recall what happened. Oh, about their shipment being hijacked en route.
Yes, if I recall.
Seems as good a place to start as any.
Well, we are essentially being checked up by one of the counselors themselves. If we don't prove ourselves, we could really have a loss of reputation. I know you don't care much for reputation there, Rovan, but unfortunately certain things are helpful with a reputation.
If I've done my job correctly, I'm not in place long enough to develop a reputation. Also, there shall be nobody that knows of my presence too.
I'll make sure to keep your name out of any sort of writing. But yes, with that, well, I'll have to look through my notes and remind myself what's going on, but I suppose we should meet up with Naya and Captain Amara. Sorry, Amira.
I should just name her Amara.
Is it Amara?
No, it's Amira.
Okay.
But whatever's easier on the tongue.
Alright, well, with that, Nox is going to poke his head out of the door, unless Eris or Rovan have anything to say.
Rolling a shrug.
Nothing from Maris.
Alright, well, that's the plan. We'll go meet up at our ship, but, if anyone would, do you want to get a bite? I think I saw a lovely, tasty shop over there, full of, a noodle shop of sorts, I think, maybe. You know, broth, noodles,
I do seem to recall one of our encounters was very unfond of noodles.
Oh, yes. Sorry, I'm sitting over here like, oh, this is great. Who would love noodles? All right, the person I wrote. Yes, you do remember that the Yai is actually a big fan of noodles and has invited you a number of times.
Oh. Well, if it's Yai, do you want to keep it to us, or do you want her around? I have a feeling that she might start fawning a bit, but at the same point, a good reputation.
I suppose that we can share noodles.
Works for me. Eris, any complaints?
Nothing on my end.
Then Nox is going to head on out once everyone is ready, and he's going to do an investigation check, trying to remember that fancy tasty noodle shop that he found.
You remember the fancy tasting noodle shop located right outside of the deeps, right next to effectively the entrance to the delves. You remember the sweet smell of the noodles being prepared by a series of Thry Queen merchants.
And he's going to take him down there.
You all. By the way, did you get Nia or Naya? Did you invite her to go get noodles, or are you guys just doing guys staying at the noodle shop?
She's over by the ship. The ship has supplies and everything. We don't have food. We got
Nia,
rations,
they didn't invite you to go get noodles.
Nia doesn't know, won't hurt her.
That's honestly hurtful.
Rovan, do you want to eat rations for breakfast?
If the choice is between rations and noodles, the choice is always rations must be saved for when they're in dire need. Also, I fed mine to the eel.
We'll have to buy you some more rations, that's right.
You remember the smell of a burnt noodle after you had thrown several up into the air to see it try to catch it in its mouth from the barrel before returning back to its hiding spot.
Oh, that's concerning.
As you guys head down towards the noodle shop, you're introduced by a GIF and a Thrycreen who are working the stand. The Thrycreen is actually preparing the noodles. You hear the swift chopping of materials. As it goes ahead and prepares the food. The GIFs don't usually speak in heavy tone, very much at all, but you can see it kind of puts a hand out and offers a selection of different flavors. Some of them are, having a very variety of astral eggs involved. Some of them have light different meats. Different flavors are added. Spiciness is added. So it's kind of your choice of like what you're looking for in particular. There's even a coral special that actually has little bits of calcium-based coral inside. It actually tastes really good. It's well suggested. The stand is popular. You guys end up like third or fourth in line, but after about 20 minutes, it's about 9 o'clock now in the morning, you finally get your turn. They're asking for approximately 15 copper per bowl.
Nox covers that.
And each of you are given a selection of your type of flavors and types.
My thanks for breakfast, Nox.
Nox smiles as he jingles the bag. It's a business lunch. I get to write it off on our total funds.
So he's going to say a tax write-off.
That's more or less what he said. It's a write-off.
Oh. Not for taxes. Go on.
Who doesn't know? Anyways.
DM in the bush. Go on.
Any case, Nox will grab his noodles, a little bit spicy, slightly sweet, nice hearty broth.
You go ahead and, hand it off to Compression, who kind of looks down at the bowl while you go ahead and get your utensils ready, hands it back to you. It's almost a very fluid-like manner as you guys all move together. Eris, have you had noodles before?
That's a good question.
Yeah, right?
Does an Aarakocra eat noodles?
I could not eat those.
I probably have a hard as hell time slurping. Wait, did your Aarakocra have a beak or lips?
Beak.
Give me a
Eating
I
check.
guess a survival check, and I'll make it like a 4. Okay, you are really loving this, and it comes to you pretty naturally to go ahead and eat. Did you seriously get a 23?
23 to eat noodles. This man is the master of nudes.
He knows how to slurp a noodle.
Okay,
Master of nudes? Wow.
okay, hold on.
Naya.
These are different things.
N-O-O-D. N-O-O-D.
Naya.
Noodles.
By the way, his left side is his good side. Naya, how do you start your day after getting up? Amira would have greeted you and told you that she's going to be effectively working down on contracts for the moment.
Niall, thank you. Get washed up, slug down some coffee, and probably scrummage around, find something to munch on. She doesn't really care. She's like still 97% asleep and will be for the next hour or so.
You guys did restock before all the crap happened, so there's actually some good quality food on board. There's still some meals that can be heated appropriately with the nice spell materials you just need. Warming it doesn't take too long. Your brother's actually very helpful along the way, holding things. Couple times you have to remind him, like, no, you have to stir with both hands, and he'll just kind of stop. He'll put the spoon in the other hand and start stirring. After about another 30 minutes or so, you guys, it's about 9:30 in the morning. What will you plan to do?
Essentially, after eating, Nox's goal is to go head out towards the ship and meet up with Naya.
And Naya is she'll probably do a little bit of tidying in the ship, trying to get her head in order, sort of humming the like beginnings of the song she's working on. It's taking her longer than it usually would to come up with a new one, but it's whatever. She's had important shit to do, or more important shit to do.
Go ahead and do a performance roll.
Sure. Why do I keep forgetting where my sheet is? You'd think I'd know by now.
As she starts busting into song.
Messy 22.
Some
Even
point
if it's not like her
today.
best, it's still pretty fucking good.
Oh no, it's really good.
She is a competent bird.
You feel little bits of your magic kind of flowing through you and your I was gonna say through you and your mouth, through you and your instrument as you kind of strum along. In that same moment again, as you play, you kind of take into perspective that although everything seems to relax and calm around you, your brother once again kind of looks like he's kind of drifting off for a second. Not to the same degree you saw during the performance, but kind of just tilting his head a little more. A little more. And as you finish your last little bits, sits back up again. I'd say that's about the time that if all y'all are going to head on up to the ship, that you'd be just coming on in to see Miss Naya.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Apparently, you are not sleeping that well. I might have a drug for that. I promise anything.
Thrilljoy.
Damn it, you ruined the punchline.
Sorry. Anyone want space clown juice?
What?
Shh. Don't worry.
Nothing.
Visible concern.
Just take the pill. Could feel a little giggly. Anyway, so you guys go ahead and take a quick stock of the ship. Eris, you go ahead and what do you do? Trying to run down the line of people.
Just check over the ship, just make sure everything's up to schnickles.
You check all the schmickles and make sure that they're all in line. You go ahead and sit back into the chair after Miss Amira goes ahead and hands off control to you for a moment so you can kind of get the feel of it. As you sit back into the chair, the all familiar feeling of being in the Spelljammer kind of kicks in once more. I could do this better, guys. I could do this so much better. Well, I'll work on getting it better. But you guys go ahead. You feel what almost feels like pins and needles kind of immediately stick into you. I wouldn't say like jabbing, but just like the sensation of numbing kicks in as your body relaxes and you suddenly have entire 360-degree review of the ship. You can see everywhere and everything as if you are standing in that particular place. You are essentially omnipotent of the ship at this time. As you kind of just look at all the qualities, looking to make sure there's nothing of notice. Mira has told you before about the potential infection that had come along with the ship, so it was best to kind of get a good look around, not see any space leeches or anything that's hooked itself on. Rovin, are you doing anything on the ship?
Not at this time.
Okay.
Ruben is content to see where the day goes.
Sensible man.
An hour can go by as you guys are contently looking things over, making sure everything's stripped down top. Amira has come back and forth between each of you just to kind of get a status update on how you're all feeling and how you're all doing. She states that she's been working on contracts and trying to stay in touch with the keeper, effectively trying to let him know how your guys' investigation is going. She'll ask you a couple times how your investigation is going.
I think Nox is taking the lead on this one.
Nox is actually thinking really hard about this moment. So Amira will focus on Eris and Rovan and Naya at this moment to answer this question.
Rovan will use Detect Portal.
As you sit to yourself and focus on your studies from before on locating portals, you feel almost like a ping come off of your body, feeling the wave pass through the city, through each of the different many hallways, through the many alleyways and small homes. And other than one maybe potentially small little ping somewhere off in the high houses, possibly about the size of like a wizard working on his first real summoning spell, you don't get the sense of anything major like you did when you went down and fought the totem.
Rovan will nod and go, all is right in the world. Today, at this moment at least.
Well, that's good, because I'm getting sick and tired of having to... We're glad to have you along, and I'm glad to have you seemingly enjoying yourself, from what I could tell.
Enjoyment would detract from the state of readiness. We must be ready at all times.
Rovan, how did you end up in that prison anyway?
Apparently, I failed to detect an earthquake. I wasn't aware that that was a chargeable offense.
But who gave you the charges?
That is the question, isn't it? I also have questions on that note.
So were you just picked up, or like, where were you?
I was in the area investigating something that required my attention. I'm unfortunately not able to speak of that at the moment, as it's an ongoing investigation, and I suspect that this was a tactic by one of those who would rather not me having been meddling, and this seems to have worked, as I am considerably further from my original investigation than I intended to.
Well, this is good, I guess.
This is acceptable for now. At the moment, I'm not required elsewhere, so here is as good a place to be as any.
She'll kind of nod her head to that and say, well, if you ever need to talk.
If I have need of communication, I will let you know. In the most efficient manner possible.
Following this, she'll approach Naya and be like, all right, well, and you, how are you doing with your things?
Nia shrugs, like giving her. She's sat down and she's got her lute in her lap and she's just sort of fiddling with it, occasionally lightly plucking the strings just to make sure everything's in tune. It is. She keeps that thing in exquisite condition and she checks every night and morning, but you know, it's a habit, so she's like, I can't seem to get the bridge quite right on this. I'm doing my best, but it's just it's not flowing. It's like She plucks a series of notes, shakes her head, plucks a few more, places her palm over the strings, sounds them, shrugs. I'll get it. It's coming. It's just not quite there yet.
She kind of extends a hand out to you while you're plucking your strings, and kind of looks at you and goes, "I don't know what you've been through lately, except," and she kind of like does a half eye turn towards your brother and back to you. And I have not been really told of yet, except for what we know. But you're doing a great job, and you shouldn't stress over it. It's when the stress is time to come, it will. But now is not the moment. Besides, if you stress too much, we won't be able to hear your great songs. It's right around the corner. I know it. And she'll leave you to your strumming. And I don't think Nox has returned from his bio break yet.
Perhaps Nox did really need some Imodium.
I think he did need some Imodium, unfortunately. So if anyone needs to go take a drink, we're just 1 hour in. Eva, thank you for being patient with us. But if
no
anyone
problem.
needs to take a water break, please do.
Yeah, if you wouldn't mind me running back home to go grab some food. But I'd probably
Wait, you're right
gone
all the
for-
way back. Like, oh, okay. I was like, wait, you're literally leaving? Oh, damn.
Yeah, no, I'm at my office right now. I was working on some stuff when I saw you got Drew come on and said hello. He's like, "Oh, we're doing D&D, and I've been working on a project here." But I'm also getting a little bit peckish. It's like a 15-minute walk back down to the house.
Oh yeah, do your thing. Yeah, we got plenty of time.
Yeah, I'll be back in probably like half an hour-ish.
That's fine. Imodium will
Okay.
take about 30 minutes anyway.
All right, sweet. I'll be back in a while then.
What would you do for a Spelljammer? Do. I'm gonna play.
Rovan will take this time to go and inspect the ballista and make sure it's proper working order.
I'm trying to think of like I don't know what a ballista check would be. I guess investigation.
Sure. Why not?
Which one can I play right now?
Rovan fails this investigation check with a 4.
Rovan, you're pretty sure this is broken.
Rovan will relay that to Amira and Nox when he gets back.
Amira will kind of like follow you up to the deck, and she'll be like, damn it, did it get injured?" And she'll kind of look at it over.
I am back. Sorry about that.
She completely agrees with you. Oh, it's fucking broken.
Somebody go get Nox.
Ah, damn it. Damn it all. Knox, as you finish returning back from your bathroom, you see Amira and Rovan looking very upsettingly at the ballista of your ship.
What is wrong?
We are
The whole
without
thing's
armaments.
it's all broken.
What happened?
Look at it. You could do an investigation check if you want.
Yeah, Nox is going to look and see exactly what they fucked up. Oh, that was sitting on 20, you pricks. Okay, so 19.
It is perfectly fine. There is not a lick of a thing wrong. But Amira and Rovan are looking at this thing top to bottom, and they're like, I'm pretty sure that it's supposed to be facing the other direction. I don't know what this wire is here for. Where does the bolt even go? At one point, Rovan just removes a wheel and walks away.
What are you two trying to do exactly?
We're attempting to make sure the ship is shaped like a ship. Everything is ship shape.
And there's something wrong with the ballista?
You're the expert. You tell us.
Well,
Clearly.
I can understand if you are unsure how a ballista works, but I am surprised if Amira has fucked this.
When you see her actually kind of like touch a lever and the ballista fires off one, you watch it kind of sail through the sky and out into the direction of wild space. That was a misfire.
Yes,
Told you it was
but
broken.
See, it would have at least aimed at something. I don't understand how you people even do it with these kind of weaponry.
what would you prefer? A gun like mine?
Well, yes, it would be quite nice if we could actually get some heavy-duty armaments, but I don't think this ship will be able to hold any.
Don't worry, I can make something happen. But yes, the ballista is fine. Do not worry about it. I take it we're off to investigate the accident site.
Oh, we were just checking over the ship, but yeah, I'm ready to go ahead and go whenever you are.
Well, checking out the ship is useful, but at the same point, I guess I should ask: do we have any clues on where to go investigating?
The scene of the incident seems like a rather good place to start, I suppose.
I do agree with you on that. But it has
I
been
suspect-
almost a week now, so we would have to chart gentle spatial drifts and such, like the momentum of the explosion, the debris and such. It might not be in the same position.
True. However, with the lack of resistance, it should be moving in a predictably calculatable state.
Yes. Oh, yes. Quite calculatable. So we're going to follow the debris.
I believe you're the one leading this investigation. We will do as you suggest.
Oh boy. Okay. Well, the debris is one option. Now I have two things that I have discovered in my investigation. One, I have recovered the chip from the ship, and I was able to pick it apart. Now, the good news is someone left a calling card. The bad news is I think I know who it is, and he is a gnome traitor. Slaver. Let's just call him what he is.
I do not fail to see the bad news in either of those. You've identified our potential suspect. That makes our job considerably easier. The more you know of the enemy.
Hey, that is true. And the other thing is the mitten with this vile smell in it and possible debris. I've yet to take some time to look at it, but it might be something more for an alchemist than me. Give me a machine, I can tell you how it works. Give me chemical solutions. I can get by well enough.
I see. It's a solution looking for a solution, then. That is unfortunately not my forte.
You know, I bet Vale might know a thing or two about poisons. Sad that she is currently away. Oh, that might be another reason why we shouldn't leave. I'm hesitant to leave Vale behind.
As you guys are preparing to have a stroke, because I'm not answering the question. Sorry, guys, I am moving token pieces around as we're going. As you guys are discussing things back and forth about the investigation, it becomes very apparent outside very quickly that you can hear confrontation. You hear on the overhang of the ship outside what sounds like the very heavy stamping of metal, which my thing did not decide to copy.
Nox is going to look over and see what this stamping is.
We have somebody in the helm, correct?
You do. Eris is still in the helm at this moment, but as you guys go ahead and look over the edge, you hear the large clank of the hook on your ship. And just then you finally see one of the council members is standing outside with the bright green guard going, "I want that ship locked down immediately! Does not leave. Find the captain!"
We are here. May I ask what the problem is?
You! Down here now!
What the hell?
Nox is going to make sure he is looking as nice as he can. His weapons are in his holsters. He's going to look at compression. Yes, very nice. And he's going to look at the rest of the team and go, well, I wonder what we supposedly fucked up this time.
Come through the comms. Do you guys need me to come down too, or want to keep the ship hot?
Keep it hot.
Let's
Eris, you have noticed that they have hooked one of the legs. If you leave, it will pull one of the legs off effectively, you think.
That's rude.
What if I get to it first?
Is it the leg closest to the Thrycreen guards?
It is the leg closest to the Thrycreen guard.
Rovan will make his way down and stand by the council member close to where the hook is.
Nox will follow.
You! And he immediately points at Nox. Well, I hope you have some explaining to do.
I'm always happy to explain. Just ask a question.
The person who's confronting you is the council member Rakaram, who you actually remember questioning you during the meeting. And the Thrycreen guard, given they are not, remember, this place does not technically have a guard. So these are just kind of loosely bodied individuals that they picked out. But they kind of try as best they can to look more ferocious in front of Rovan, who's standing by the line. Rakaram will kind of look at you, and I understand that you go ahead and think yourself as hot shit, as they would go ahead and refer now to this day, because you went ahead and saved the day once more. But I'll have you, your actions are inappropriate!
Excuse me, I have no idea what you're talking about. Could you elaborate? Perhaps
Yes.
a bit more shouting? Yes.
On further analysis, I believe our actions are entirely appropriate.
Then maybe next time we'll just leave on our ship and let you all handle things yourselves.
Oh, no. There will be no leaving on this ship until you return the artifact.
I beg your pardon?
Artifact? May I ask what you're speaking of?
He'll turn to the Thrycreen guard and be like, "Be prepared to go ahead and board. I will not have this ship leave until I know it's secured."
Tell us what we supposedly have so I can retrieve it
Not
for you.
we, you. And she points down back at Nock.
What do you think I have? Please, tell me. Pretend I am an idiot for a minute.
Oh, I believe you are an idiot. There's no question about that. As like two of the Thrycreen Guard go ahead and start walking towards the walkway. I suppose you went ahead and had...
Do you have probable cause to enter our ship?
Multiple witnesses had spotted you going ahead and enter into the grove last night. And after you went ahead and knocked out several of the guards, you went ahead and obtained an artifact, the Crown of Murdigan, and then left off with your tiny green friends, who, mind you, you abandoned here once already, and though they am happy to have out of my possession, I do not appear to be happy about you taking an artifact.
Absolutely. What time did this happen?
Last night, approximately around 9 o'clock. I though you think you'd already know that answer since you were laughing the whole time.
Yes, it is very possible. I was cursed with an artifact at some point yesterday, so I'm trying to retrace my steps so I can find this artifact for you.
So, just to clarify a note where he's talking about, you guys were in the Market District.
At this time?
You guys were at Lot 56, and you guys went down to the church. You had no point were down at the preserve.
Now, even Nox in his state of what the fuckery?
You would have remembered a big ass. You would have remembered a big ass fucking tree.
Well, we would have been there with you, regardless.
Well, in the case that Nox maybe stumbled away on his own.
We're keeping an eye on you.
We have multiple reports where we have been at that time where you will have us at a church getting my plate cured. We were then. Oh, where were we then next?
I believe
I'm
we were at a
waiting.
fountain.
Yes, that's what it was. A fountain. What time was that though? That was more around 11, 12-ish, right? Because it wasn't until like midnight when we had our actual battle, right?
It was roughly striking midnight.
So no, we would have been at the church at the time, and you can go ahead, and Nox is going to hold up the insignia that he asked for them church. Go ahead and ask them. She was curing my ailment, and before that you will have possible police reports of me attempting to apparently climb into some people's houses during my unfortunate ailment.
He kind of is like the Hodozi is kind of like stamping his foot a little bit, looking kind of impatient, and he'll turn to one of the Thrycreen guards and be like, "Which church was it?"
Whichever one's on the symbol that he got from the asked from the lady.
The Church of Uvis was the one that you guys visited, and after mentioning it, he'll be like, "Please go confirm he was there, and please possibly send more."
Now, here's the other thing. There's possible doppelgangers. We know those very much exist, though rare. But you said our green goblin friend? The goblins?
Oh, I quite know exactly who I'm referring to. You showed up, went ahead and lollygagged around. Mind you, you were with your glaive at the time.
Wait, when have I ever used a glaive?
I don't know. Does it look like it's my problem right now?
It is, because
It's your problem.
you need to come up with a case. And right now, by all accounts... Thank you, Robin.
I have multiple...
I use guns. Nox is going to open up his coat and show off his pistol on his hip, and he's going to point to his revolver on his shoulder. Never once have I used a glaive.
You see multiple people kind of whispering back and forth as they've watched the Thrycreen Guard kind of surround your ship. I don't understand, you adventurers. I have taken up the life of being civil. But multiple individuals at the preserve identified you walking on in with your glaive, moving on into some of the precious chambers. What was then identified was that several of our guards were found asleep, and then the crown of Murrigan was gone.
Apparently you need to increase the quality of your guard staff then. We cannot be held responsible for your poor hiring choices.
May I inquire, do they have any defining features? Nox is actually going to turn a little bit white as he thinks for a moment.
The only thing that was noted was the fact that you would not stop laughing and smiling and giggling, and you kept saying profanities of all form. But it took a scholar who actually was knowledgeable in giant to understand what the damn thing you were saying. Which I'll say to you, if I was not a council member myself, I would have slapped you across the face of the things you have said about us.
Please understand that every word that you say, if I am proven innocent, is damning you. I am trying to handle this civilly with you and get to the bottom of this. If I was guilty, would I be asking questions like this, sir?
And I am telling you that you have taken quite the rare artifact, one of that given by that Mjorgen herself, from a holding chamber, after you went ahead and made a mockery of us, and then went ahead and got your crew, and I do not know where they are, but truth be told, I am happy they are gone.
Oh
If
boy.
If your guards are sleeping on the job like that, you are making a mockery of yourselves. You don't need
Okay,
any
I
assistance
can't
from
imagine.
us within that purveyance.
I'm sorry, Niall, go ahead. Oh, who did we lose?
It was Naya saying something, but I missed her.
Uh-oh. Did Niall also
Oops.
need a modium? Go ahead, Ro.
No, I was just
Would, with the few details, the glaive, the laughing, speaking giant, would this fit someone in Nox's past?
Not that you know of. You don't know of any. Oh, good, she's back. I thought she needed a modium. You don't remember having any siblings or anyone in your family that specifically spoke giant. Nor one that apparently fit your description pretty damn well. I'll have you know that this ship is not going anywhere till a full investigation is performed.
Absolutely. And I request that if we are found innocent, you and I need to sit down and have a beer because this is unacceptable. Innocent
I
until
will
proven guilty.
I'm so sorry, Naya, that you're kind of fogging in. Uh-oh.
Is everything all right?
Yeah, her internet's not doing too great.
I love how that's
the internet-
Nox's threat. We will sit down and have a beer.
You almost see that the... can you give a persuasion check?
Oof. 1 second. 9. I'm debating using luck. Fuck it, I'm going to use a luck. 10! It was worth it.
We're going to need the artificer to be working on our poor bard's internet.
Oh no.
When the council member continues to pat his foot and look incredibly frustrated. Do you have any other eyewitnesses to your accounts, sir? Because I assure you, you are quite remembered.
Well, we do have 2 of your fellow council members if you want to go ask them, but that was much later in the night.
restart the computer.
What are those council members' names again?
The council members' names were... Thank you for asking.
I know you
It
need to
might
know
be
them at
the
some point.
Oh no, you're fine. Is council member Alton and Graylin Dune.
I interacted with the Dune siblings later on in that night, so if you want to go ask them. But I can assure you that I would like to figure out why my face was used for a robbery. Especially since I am not taking the time to learn how to speak giant.
He continues to look incredibly irritated.
You keep frowning that way, your face is going to freeze like that.
Your ship, you do not leave until this investigation is complete. Do you understand?
Crystal clear. I'd like to have my name cleared.
Oh, we'll be clear, all right.
Yes, I'll be issued a clear apology on your behalf.
And the Thri-Kreen Guard will go ahead and line themselves effectively inside the ship's mouth, allowing themselves to have full access. The ship stays here until we know where the artifact went and where you have been. So you say, and I maybe we'll be able to share a drink before on a different day, but I assure you this is definitely exchanged my feel. Maybe some of the other council members were right about you.
Rule of thumb, if you're going to be a good council member, hear it from the horse's mouth, not word of others. Because others always have an agenda. Just like you,
And the liar
sir.
always has something else to say. And he'll
So does a
kind of
politician.
also true. And he will go and stamp off on his own.
Unfortunately, gentlemen, you do not have permission to access this ship unless your laws dictate such things. And then at that point, I will be talking to my lawyers and ensuring that you do not trample on my rights. Otherwise, I understand you're doing your jobs, and please just respect my ship and my people, and we will show respect.
They will take position to effectively protect the grapple to your ship leg, and they will also take position to ensure the entrance to your ship is blockaded off. And you will see Amira and Clank kind of looking down to y'all, being like, "What's happening?"
Someone stole my face, apparently, and has decided to steal a precious artifact from this location. We are held in lockdown until further inquiries.
Please don't lose your face. It's cute like that.
I appreciate you, Amira. God damn it, woman.
You see her kind of like wave off as all of you. Naya, are you able to hear us? I don't know. No.
Yes.
Okay, good.
I had to restart the whole last computer, but I'm here now. I missed like the last few minutes. Sorry.
As
Council
Amira,
member- Sorry.
I was going to say, as Amira and Clank seemingly try to talk up the guards, showing that their papers are in order, and the locations of their members, you guys are to yourselves on this.
We need to figure out. Well, Nox is going to look at the group and kind of motion like, "Hey, let's step over here for a second." We need to figure out what is going on here.
Harris, what do you make of all this?
I'm up in the ship. I have no idea what's going on.
No,
Can if you're in the helm, couldn't you see around the ship, or did you disconnect?
No, he can. Yeah, he's still connected.
Oh yeah, I haven't left. Basically asked if I should keep it hot, and I was told yes to keep it hot, so I did.
Harris is trying to find out where the weapon switch is.
While being connected to it, I'm sure the ship would be able to. I'll be able to figure that kind of thing out.
I am also concerned that maybe while in our absence, someone may have stashed the treasure on the ship. If someone's going through the effort of taking my face, they might be trying to frame me or us for something. Why me?
You guys can go investigate the ship if you like.
Okay, so they're not
Can
blocked.
I do that? Can I do that from the cockpit?
They are not. You can look through the entire ship from the cockpit if you like.
I will do so.
Nox will be talking to the Chirpas, like he's a few steps away from the guards saying this.
Eris, your mind. I would like you to give me an investigation check with advantage, please. So an 18, technically. You go ahead and feel your mind pass through every nook
It's
and
with
cranny.
advantage, though, right? Wouldn't the 20
It is
roll the 18? Or did I do it wrong?
technically you rolled.
Oh, I did that wrong.
I'll give you the 21, but effectively it gives you the two numbers, and that's how it
That's right.
tells which one's the other. But I'll give you the 21 because you're literally hooked into the ship, and I will tell you that you have gone through everything from Nox's underwear drawer all the way up through every nook and cranny. You've gone through bottles. You've gone through, every food dispenser item. You've gone through the bathroom. You've gone through the septic tank, as disgusting as that is, and you do not find anything that fits the description of the Crown of Mirgand.
I'll come through the troop. Nox, I have completed a thorough search of the ship, and there is no such object on this ship.
Fortunate. That means that they did not stash it. That means that they have stashed it somewhere else. They just took someone's face in attempts to make a crime, and they're not trying to frame him. And that's good news. It means that I'm not being targeted at directly.
Tell me, who's got that box?
What box?
The box you picked up from earlier.
I brought it in, but I think I brought it in. As far as I know.
Did your mind pass through the box?
No. Not that I was aware of.
Okay.
Like, if you saw it, I think he's asking, if you saw it, would you have looked through the box?
I would have just brought the box. I guys remember asking Nox about it, and I just would have brought the box.
I mean, your mind can literally go into it. That's how omnipotent you are when you're inside a Spelljammer.
Oh, well, if it was on the ship, I guess it would have been doing search.
Eris, as you pass your mind through all objects, including the... Sorry. As you pass your mind through the box, you will notice that there looks to be kind of like a tube, and there seems to be a note wrapped around it. And please hold.
Now, what is this box from? Does anyone remember this box?
This is the box that was delivered this morning.
Oh, right. Oh, we didn't look at it? Fuck.
I suppose that there was a box delivered?
There was a box delivered by an auto-gnome. Rovan
Hmm.
suggested that we immediately put it into the nearest river.
I feel like that might be a terrible idea.
It's worked for me in the past. No news
And
is
that-
good news and all that.
And that's what you said.
Well,
So what you know so far is that Nox was spotted inside the preserve with a glaive, laughing, smiling, and cursing up a storm and giant. And evidently, the guards who did not die, he did not say anyone died, were found asleep, and the crown was stolen. And the tiny green people went with him.
Good to know.
Lumos.
And we know that during this time we were at the church.
You know that you were right around trying to get to the church. Eris, how do you
Lumos.
react to that?
Eyes back.
Oh, was it?
Welcome back.
Okay.
I'm sorry, Eris?
To the what's in the box thing, or what's?
Yes, to what I sent you.
It's okay.
I was waiting for a response, and I didn't hear one. I was like, I don't think he's looked. And J-Dubs, you couldn't be any more on time. While Eris is investigating the inside of the box, you will see Counselor Rakaram reappear.
I will,
Counselor,
as that's happening, I'll come through on the chirp to Nox. Nox, remember the box from earlier?
Yes, vaguely.
I recommend we take a look inside of that. When I saw in there, there seems to be a note that's worth looking at. Be pertinent to the current situation.
Oh, son of a bitch, so they do. This is personal. Okay. Oh, we got guests. 1 second. Say nothing.
as Rakaram comes back, you see trailing behind him is a significantly large looking red dragonborn. And he approaches and go, what is your name again?
I think that's you, Dubs.
That's me.
J-Dubs. Yep, he's asking you,
Boris.
what is your name?
I'm Boris.
This is Boris. He's going to be with you until this entire investigation is solved. I will not let you out of my sight. You are not to let them go. Do you understand?
Yes.
What were your credentials again?
I have best credentials, greatest credentials ever. You never find someone with better credentials than me.
I knew hiring you at that drinking party was a good idea. You stay with them until this is over.
Ah, yes, vodka hire is best hire.
Council
this
member,
large-
are we formally being placed under arrest?
You are under suspicion, and therefore you are.
This is a yes or no question, council member.
God damn it, fucking Rovin is.
Nox is going to go rules lawyery too on this. You're lucky he hasn't pressed too hard.
And I assume, by the fact that we are still free and there's not enough guards here to take us should we resist, that we are not formally under arrest. Therefore, that begs the question, what happens if we attend to separate tasks in separate areas?
For a brief second in Nox's mind, he wonders, is Rovin ditching me? No, he's not. I see what he's doing now.
I can't even ask you to do an intimidation roll because I myself feel personally intimidated.
When you intimidate the GM so well.
You look here. Well, no, I'm just like, holy fuck. He points his finger. Do not leave this asteroid, or I will summon the forces capable to pay with its coin. And I assure you, I may not be no Tarask, but I do know the power of gold.
Oh, I would love to see the council remove you off there for abusive use of power.
You one who under suspicion of stealing.
Yes, you do not. I am shocked at your ineptitude of how you are handling this. I would have thought you would have taken us aside and talked to us in private, but right now, you have so many witnesses watching this. This is absurd. This is a mockery of your power. But
also, as a council member, I would have assumed you had a better command of orator skills. The word is thievery, not stealing.
I have witnesses to check. I cannot stand with this right now.
Okay. When is the last time this man slept?
I don't know.
And you see him. And well, probably last night. Really well, actually, until he found out this morning about what happened. But you see the council member trudge back off again. And Boris, you are now standing.
I was going to sing for him the song of my people.
You see
Take a look at
a series of individuals kind of looking down at you. And y'all, what do you know what, Boris, describe yourself. What do you look like?
A red dragon holding a shield, a hammer, and a scimitar. Because I am subtle as fuck.
Oh my word, you have 3 hands!
I was wondering how he was performing that feat.
He's got one in his mouth.
I have a tail, sir.
Oh,
Yes.
of course.
No, sorry. The hammer's hanging out my belt. And yeah.
I was about to say that was a hell of a tail.
Are you wearing armor, or are you like more like a shirtless kind of individual?
I'm a shirtless individual.
Oh my word.
he's got a very tiny name tag on that says "I am Boris." Ask me if you have questions.
There's Comrade Boris on my name tag.
Wait. I already posted a meme that is appropriate to this. I already posted a meme that was appropriate to this.
Is this in the FOL memes?
It sure is.
Okay, we will all enjoy this. But Eris, what would you like to report to Nox, if any?
Just to the
Right,
box.
I have relinked it.
What is the situation, Eris? You sound perturbed.
Yes.
Oh, did you need me to drop the
Oh dear.
Does Nox go look for the box?
Yeah, I guess once everyone's gone. Oh, actually, no, not quite yet. I gotta wait. Boris is here, so I must interact with Boris. Because Nox is.
Last I was told was to wait on
Okay.
response because guests are here, so that's why I'm just holding.
So,
in the
Boris.
session highlights? I'll drop what was seen. Oh, go ahead. Please go ahead. Go.
So, Boris, you have been hired to do what exactly? Just keep an eye on us?
Make sure that you represent the glory of our empire well.
Whose empire?
I am suspicious.
The empire that belongs to us all.
Horse, I see that you are uniquely qualified for this duty. Come along then.
Yes, just remember that the Empire knows those that are lying, and when the truth shall be said, you shall be set free.
Boris never lies.
Good.
Never.
So
There
why
is a
did
no
our
profit for it.
counselor choose you? You must be.
For his credentials, obviously.
Yes, Boris have great credentials.
You must be one hell of a tracker.
Yes.
A fighter, a warrior.
Yes.
I'm
Good
just
to know.
against it. I'm on top of the wall, just dying.
Well then, Boris, I wish you best of luck with your job, and I understand you're just doing what it needs to make a paycheck.
Yes, and the glory of our empire.
It's the Empire and all that.
And dedicated, too. I can see why the council member chose him.
Boris is most dedicated to dragon ever.
Well, Nox, you go left, I'll go right, and we'll see what happens.
Nox is going to go left.
Boris, you've come up with a conundrum.
Which of them looks smaller?
Nox.
Technically, Nox, the perp.
All right, I'm gonna grapple him and start following Drew's character.
Okay, I need a grapple check, which is a strength athletics. Nox, you see this very hulking looking creature immediately charging towards you.
Well, I just added a 1. This is gonna be fun.
Okay, so he goes for a grab on you. Unless you hit a 1, this is gonna hit. Nox?
Oh, unless I hit a 1, it's going to hit?
Unless you get a 1, just let me know what happens.
12, and what's that, strength?
That is, you could use either dexterity to get out of this, or to be evasive on it. You see him running towards you.
Oh, he's gonna roll. He rolled a 14 for a dex. Actually, hold on. Compression's going to probably stand in his way. This is a hostile move.
This is a hostile move. as you watch Boris charge towards you.
Am I not standing right next to him?
No, well, I'm moving your character for you. You watch as this large, hulking, metallic figure steps in front of you, Boris, and you hit it. And when I say you hit it, I mean it sunders. You obviously miss, but your head strikes the other creature, and you feel the vibrations surge through the entire platform that you're standing on. You actually hear boxes that seem to fall off and into the distance below. I will need you to roll a 1d8.
Who?
Technically, Boris.
3.
You take 3 points of bludgeoning damage, but you've noticed that the crowd seems to be very scared for a moment to see this incredibly powerful figure who seemingly shifted the entire platform from his strength alone in one foul miss. Compression has not been scratched and cannot explain any signs of fear, but he certainly was. If he could say, "Master, that shit was scary," he would say it.
Compression may have let off a little steam out of his rear end, is what you're saying?
Effectively.
There may have been a little pucker.
This is a big ass fucking dragonborn.
Nox is going to pat his gun, his rifle in his hands gently and go, I understand you are doing a job. I am not going to try and ditch you or make your life more miserable. I need you to understand one thing. If you attempt to attack me in any way, I will not hesitate to defend myself. Are we clear?
I will admit that was rather impressive problem solving. Ineffective, but it deserves some merit for its attempt. I like this gentleman. He's direct.
Naya, do you have any commentary on this?
I was just watching, sort of twiddling with her lute, debating what she should be doing. She's not sure what she should be doing here. You guys good?
Your brother does kind of unclink the very top of his sword like he's getting ready.
He loosens it in the sheath, just sort of like he's ready. This man is loaded for war. Watch out, everybody. He's this is like a 5'0" revenant. He is a short king.
Got muscles for days, but he is
Yep.
he is very short.
Mm-hmm.
DM, I would like to use animal friendship on the seagull.
Okay.
Not again, not again, not again.
Right, violence and intimidation on one hand. On the other hand, do a pretty bird.
Are you wanting a roll for that?
Wait, what
Like,
seagull?
what's your? I know. Like, what do I? I'm trying to find
right here.
seagull in my.
Well, this thing that this.
Okay. So animal. So you're using the spell animal handling.
Animal friendship.
Oh, I am. You choose a beast that you can see within range for 24 hours, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so it's got a... If the beast intelligence is 4 or higher, it fails. Okay. Otherwise, it must succeed a wisdom saving throw against your spell DC.
Is anyone else getting gurbles from the music? Or is my internet having a bad day?
That might be
it's
your
playing
internet.
fine.
Okay.
What is your spell DC?
For who?
12.
It doesn't lose, but it meets it. So the gull looks very suspicious of you, but it's not flying away.
Rovan will hand it the remnants of a ration, and then
You have acquired its friendship.
excellent. And then walk back to Nia and go, this day started out so well. I knew we should have tossed the box in the river.
I don't think it's the box's fault necessarily. And on that note, did we ever figure out what was in the box, or?
No, that bit of unpleasantness still needs to be dealt with.
All
I'd
right.
assumed it was chirps, but
Well,
oh,
is the what does the box look like? We have it here with us. Nia's just going to like see what's in this thing, crack it open, whatever. This is getting out of hand.
all right. DM, I assume that we would have brought the box from the warehouse.
Yep,
Let us deal with this bit of unpleasantness.
you go ahead and
For what it's worth, I guess Nox is still outside with this dragon and compression as they're looking at the box.
Yep, you can see Rovan and Naya kind of inspecting the box as Eris kind of peers through his omnipotent view from his side. You open up the wooden box, and inside, if you look into session highlights, you see effectively a message or a piece of paper that's wrapped around a cylinder.
Come through. Read that. You'll understand why I wanted you to look at it.
Well,
It's tied on with twine. Do you unhook it?
I'm going to cast Identify first. Actually, no, I'm going to cast Detect Magic rather. That makes
With your Detect Magic, you detect the very hints of fading magic coming from the cylinder.
what kind of magic?
Evocation.
This was. Huh. Well, this could not possibly go wrong. Nia unties the twine.
In session highlights, you see the following message is attached to the.
Oh, joy.
Glorious. Do you suspect that they're referring to our goblin companions?
Do you inspect the cylinder?
Yes. Yeah, might as well.
As you open up the cylinder, it's kind of like what is put like scrolls inside. As you pop it open, you can very easily identify what looks to be the remnants of Dag's dagger that's been snapped in half.
Oh, it's on. They. How dare they? Those are our goblins.
You mess with the goblins, you mess with the boom makers.
Uh-huh. Your shit is going to get exploded. We are very good at making booms.
Rovan will relay our findings to Nox, hand Boris a piece of jerky, and say, "We have work to do, gentlemen, let's go."
It just hands Boris jerky.
He looked hungry.
Yeah.
Boris, you've been handed you've been handed a snack.
Yeah, little snack for the road.
Your tiny tribute does not appease me. Yeah, I'm gonna grab the jerky and just kind of stick it in my pocket for now.
This man knows his way around a bar. He knows what bar food's supposed to be like. As you guys all effectively leave, Amira will continue her best trying to explain the situation. Eris, do you follow with them?
Because I'm gonna do. You guys want me to tag along or stay here with the ship and just keep an eye on things?
No, please do tag along with us.
I?
We have skulls to crack.
I'm not talking about skulls cracked or something. What do I need to do?
Before you leave, Amira will ask to take the transfer of the spell, if you will, from you, Eris, just in case she needs to pull the ship out quickly for y'all.
Well, the ship's hooked. There's not much you can do about it anyway.
Yeah,
know,
what's
but-
the loss of a leg? We've survived worse.
So you guys,
ship control is yours, Amira.
she'll go ahead and perform the ceremony with you, which takes about a minute. But you guys lock hands together, and you can feel the energy kind of pass from your hand into hers. And she wishes you luck as she kind of seems to almost hold your hand and be like, please keep them safe. And yourself as well. Eris responds with silence.
I had a big leg cramp. I missed the question.
Oh shit! Like that. He's down.
She effectively said, please keep yourself, you and the allies safe.
Of course, always. Keep in touch.
So, what will you guys do to begin this investigation?
Nox is gonna glance at Boris. He's gonna sigh. Alright, where did that autonome come from that handed us? There must be some sort of identifiable marking on him. Let's start there.
Go ahead and do a history check.
Ooh, me?
Anyone who'd like to.
Oh,
You said this
okay.
out loud, so I'm gonna offer this to all.
6.
22.
Boris, what's your investigations check?
Investigation.
That's an intelligence check, effectively.
I just rolled a 14.
You guys above a 10 know that all mail usually passes through the registrar's office.
We even said it out loud. Register's office. Alright, well, I deem we should go investigate the registers.
Is that where you guys go?
Nox is going that way unless anyone says anything otherwise.
Sounds reasonable.
You all leave and head on down. It's going to take roughly about 30 minutes to get down to the registrar's office by foot, but I'm counting it off as saying that you guys are moving as quickly as possible. So it's roughly now around 11 o'clock. As you finally make it into the registrar's office location,
Eris, you still have the parcel contents, right?
You guys were on to open it up. I was telling you to look in it. Did no one grab it?
Rovan and Naya had looked at it. Do you guys still have it?
Yes, I suppose so.
It is foolish to destroy evidence prior to the conclusion of an investigation.
Absolutely agree. That's why I like having you guys around. You get it. So up at the front desk.
You all move through the halls, and Rovan and Naya, you do recognize Ventessa. You notice the Thoraikring guards who were standing on either side, looking very, guardly. But Ventessa will go ahead and look down and be like, "Oh, Master Knox, you're back. Good to see you again."
She wouldn't know Nox. Nox didn't come with them.
You were just here yesterday.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yes. Hello. Quick question. We got a package this morning, and it is a death threat, and we are investigating what about exactly. So, is there any way that we could figure out where this came from, who may have purchased it?
I'm so sorry, sir, but you were the one who actually came and dropped it off yourself. if I remember correctly. You came in here with a weapon, even though the god had politely asked you to stow it.
A glaive, perhaps?
Yes.
Why, yes, actually.
But what time?
Uh, you arrived roughly around 6. You were pretty quick to go ahead and try to make the. I have a receipt somewhere, and she goes ahead and starts ruffling through. But you were pretty giggly and smiley the whole time, and you kept blurting things out randomly. And oh,
Did I have a pair of goggles on my head at the time?
I don't remember you having any goggles. No.
Definitely wasn't me then. Even if I was under the enchantment, it wasn't me.
Ah,
By
here it
any
is.
chance, did you notice a certain smell emanating from
Oh dear, I seem to
that
be having
character?
audio issues.
No, not that I remember. You were pretty well dressed, and who left?
Dubs,
Yep,
he's
I'm
having
back.
issues.
She goes ahead and hands you a form.
Oh no, not this again.
Here you
No.
are.
Nox is going to look at it, seeing if his signature is on it.
There doesn't appear to be any signatures on this.
But yes, you were quite stern to make sure it was going to be express. I don't know why you would have sent it to yourself by any means, sir, but if you had
Having
any.
a whole lot of technical difficulties this evening.
Nox is going to quickly snatch the paper out of view and
Fuck it, didn't fix it.
So we still we can hear you. No, we can hear you.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Having technical difficulties. We can hear you.
Now y'all know what it was like for me.
wait, 6 o'clock. 6 o'clock yesterday. We were with the council at 6 yesterday, weren't we?
You were.
This is absurd. And Nox is going to take a deep breath. Thank you very much. So that was all. Just laughing, joking, seeming extremely excited, but speaking gibberish. Who did I
You
come
did a couple
with?
of no one. You were by yourself, but I don't know. You kept speaking weird and saying strange things. I didn't really understand you, but when you were done, you ran down towards uh, this is actually my apologies. My brain farted out here. You ran down towards Wormtown, a little bit south from here. You're pretty direct about running straight in that direction.
We planned. Do you recall any of the little things I may have said? A phrase, a word, or something?
She kind of sits to herself and leans back in her chair. You can actually see her robotic arm kind of like flexing for a second.
I'm sorry to press, but this is incredibly important.
You kind of. I don't really know if you meant it or anything, but you kind of looked at me for a second and you went, "Good luck." I thought it was a term of endearment about my job. I thought you were proud. It's not often we usually get people down here.
Good luck. I hate being that sort of person, but oh goddamn, yeah, Jesus.
Oh wow.
That is an impressive ping. That is like satellite quality.
Oh.
She's 5 seconds behind everything.
That's an art form and a skill.
Oh god.
we want to take a break and see if I can help with technical difficulties?
Yeah, let's take a 5-minute break.
Works for me.
AZ, can you hear me?
Z, can you hear us? You can type if you can hear us.
I think that's no.
Ah!
think she has.
Amy.
Oh, you always I feel sad because I always try to like build up good scenic moments, and then shit like this happens to people, and I'm like, oh, it's now it's a chore for people.
I'm sorry, Sean. I'll get her sorted.
Oh no, you're fine.
If anybody should be having shitty internet, it's me. She's in the middle of the city.
Her computer.
I have trees surrounding me. I don't understand.
Testing 1 2 3. Testing Naya. What? Listen, please. Hopefully you can hear me. The answer is no.
I think I hear her typing.
That's me.
No, that's
Oh.
true.
Nox is no longer a happy person, for what it's worth.
No, I don't think Nox would be a happy person.
Nox is normally a happy person.
I know.
You're not supposed to have problems. It is me that is supposed to have the problem.
Ooh, she has a little bit of coding knowledge. Excellent. Actually, there's been a lot of DNS issues lately.
Yeah, we had that whole fucking problem last week. Alright, all of us are moving over to, shit, where they put everyone on nowadays? Not Skype.
TeamSpeak? No, not Team. Well,
Slack.
TeamSpeak works
Oh,
actually.
God.
Discord.
No, not Discord. What's the one that they usually use for businesses?
Teams.
Teams, that's
Team-
what it is. Or there was the other one, Zoom.
Yeah, Zoom. Everyone's moving to Zoom.
Well, Discord is on its way to being an amalgamous blob, so.
It's owned by the Chinese government. It's used to spy on. And unfortunately, I'm not even kidding.
Oh no, I know you're
No,
not.
I know.
was
I mean,
gonna
they
say,
literally
did
updated terms of service to include that.
they really
They
like
actually
wanna go
did,
within my
so-
Discord?
Yeah.
I think I steal my I think I steal my ideas.
Well, you see, Discord's one of main Discord. How does Discord make money? And short answer is it really doesn't. They would claim that Discord Nitro, but it doesn't. That's not even enough to keep the servers running. So one of Discord's main investors is Tencent.
Ugh.
Yep.
And now they're listening to us personally, making sure that we don't speak ill of them. Oh, hail Tencent! There. I've done my duty for the day.
Who wants a history lesson?
I love
Boris
how
is gonna give
matter
you
of
all-
fact.
Boris is going to give everyone a lesson about the glorious empire's revolution in the Tiny Men Square.
I'm not even going to tell you the history, Boris, because it's actually too funny how your background's going so far, and I like this too much. So I won't even update you. I just want you to keep going. You are doing
don't
exactly.
update.
Yeah, just keep doing you. I will not reference a single thing because this is absolutely the perfect character I love. That's why I said don't do you do you. We'll just fill in the blank.
Oh man, I'm glad that my random meme character is fitting in so well.
I will effectively say everyone that you've talked to so far is raising an eyebrow about what you're talking about.
I do take it you're making that joke because Boris doesn't know anything about where he is.
I made Boris 10 minutes, like literally while we were starting. So I'm still making stuff up as I go.
Oh, that's fine.
How
That's
would
fine.
Boris have landed on this? So effectively, Boris is on a floating asteroid in the middle of the solar system, and it's a trading post, but
to liberate the workers of this small asteroid from their tyrannical overlords and bring them into the glory of the empire where all will be equal.
oh my god, I love it, but oh my.
Oh, dear, Boris.
I only love it more because the keeper who is probably the highest person on this entire asteroid, would literally stand with you on the picket line against them.
Against the very thing that he is like head of.
His specific nature is feline in nature and just as much against authority as anyone else. While Boris is standing in the line holding up a picket, you see the keeper sitting right next to him going, "Fuck the keeper." The keeper, by the way, being shorter than that of Noct, is a very tiny human. He's not even a gnome. He's just a very tiny human. He almost looks like an anime character, like an old grandpa.
Roshi. Is that who you're thinking of?
Like the very young, the first version of Yoshi.
No, Master Roshi.
That's right,
Okay,
Master
sorry.
Roshi.
I can get behind that. I can get behind that. Alright, we're back. Also, by the way, yes, I apologize everyone for suddenly running off. Let's just say that apparently I ate something and my body suddenly went, yeah, this shouldn't be in your digestive system anymore.
Imodium.
I probably could have used that.
Alright, how the hell do you invert a piston?
What?
Oh.
What?
What you have to do is build something above where you want it, and then
Slap it below.
yeah.
Ugh,
Testing. You know what? For the sake of trying something,
Okay, I can hear. Huh.
how does things sound now?
Ah, right. Let's test 1 moment.
Well, you're coming in loud and clear, so that's a start.
Yeah, it is.
We've confirmed that you have a good path to the Discord core network.
Yep, and the speed test is holding steady at like.
I'm kind of wondering if. So I had the same thing happen. I had disconnect and reconnect. So I'm kind of wondering if maybe Discord's having some shenanigans going on in there.
I think it is Discord shenanigans specifically, just because like nothing else is like I tried to download. I went to a few websites. I obviously did the IP config bit. I don't know. I don't know. If it does this again, I'm going to be really cross. I don't know why it's behaving this way.
No, I
'Cause it
feel
was
bad.
fine up until it started happening, and then just
This is how I felt last week because I usually have my TV playing like a streaming video like the whole time, and I'm streaming fine to everything I'm doing, and I have multiple things up, and it's all going through. So I'm like, my internet was fine, but I couldn't fucking talk to y'all. It's shit last week.
internet speed test is perfectly fine.
I declare the problem is not on your end. You have everything is working. I declare the problem.
Oh,
Congratulations.
He already completed the ticket.
Ah,
well,
You get the survey now.
excellent. 10 out of 10. A plus all the way down. Excellent. Very good. Thank you.
Well, Nox is drinking some Imodium real quick. So I guess we'll just ask Rovin, Naya, Boris, and Eris. How do you take all these developments that have happened?
No idea what these developments are other than the like.
How far back did we lose you?
Several minutes.
So
I think the last thing I heard was the last thing was like we got to the place, Nox got greeted, and then just robots everywhere.
Okay. Basically, we found out that Nox shipped the package to himself.
Da fuck. Okay.
So basically, it's somebody who looks a lot like. He also wished the clerk there. Oh,
Good luck.
Good luck. Which is disconcerting.
it was just out of place, she kind of states, because it was really the only thing he said before he quickly kind of ran southwest of y'all, which would be in the direction of Wormtown. But I mean, he kind of babbled a bunch. He said a bunch of things in a different language, and he was kind of laughing and giggling along the way. And then
I wonder. We
he
haven't
had his-
heard from Kirk for quite some time.
I think this is bigger than Kirk.
No, he looks
guys-
to be about your height.
He knew my last name.
That's concerning.
He knows
Nox,
exactly
to
who.
this day, has not
Hmm?
told anyone. Nox has not told anyone of y'all his last name.
Concern.
Yeah, incredible amounts of concern. This is someone who knows me. This is an attack.
You seem to be getting those quite often. I really need to show you. You're far too public. I really do need to show you the benefits of the wall meld.
My brother in Bahamut, InfoSec.
Boris, Rovin, do you demonstrate in front of Boris?
Boris can't see me. I'm one with the wall.
Boris, you notice Rovin, and then he is gone. As best as is described, if you've ever seen the Homer image of where Homer kind of sucks himself into the wall or into a hedge, it's the same thing, but he doesn't use a spell. He's just really good at melding with shit.
He's just particularly asocial.
Eris, how do you feel about these developments?
Which part?
Whatever you like to mention.
Not
much, really.
Would it be prudent to go have a conversation with our goblin friends next?
I'm very inclined to say so, because they are now next to be targeted, and I do not know your stance on them, but I would hate to see anything happen to them.
Well, they single-handedly saved this asteroid.
Indeed, they did.
You guys head to the preserve?
Yes.
Certainly. But that being said, I would like to see somebody try and mess with that crocodile. I believe
As all-
popcorn would be in order for that event.
As all of you guys leave together and head on over to the preserve, you arrive and already see a number of the Earth Gensai very uncomfortable about Nox's presence.
Hey,
Some of them
Pardon,
kind
is-
of back off. They're non-violent, so they will avoid contact with you as much as possible.
Apparently, your doppelganger has been here as well, Nox. I've not seen anybody else greet you with such reservation.
yes. By the way, disguise self is a first level spell. If this politician is that quick to be fooled by a simple spell, I am disappointed. Excuse me, Gensai. Please.
I will remind you, he is a politician.
Whatever happened to you was not me. It was someone that disguised themselves as me. I'm trying to get to the bottom of this, so on my behalf, I will beat the shit out of them for whatever they did to you. Can you please tell me what happened?
I mean, you would know you were here. You just walked in and please just return the crown. Don't hurt us. I see a number of them kind of like cowering in the distance.
Disguise self is a beginner spell. It could have been anyone. It wasn't me. Please understand. I'm trying to get to the bottom of this, and I will personally kick their ass for what they did to you, but I need your information. Can you please help me?
Dominic and Stefan both, they just, I mean, they never fall asleep on duty, and just it was just gone. There was not even any breaks in the. There was no breaks in the lock or anything.
Is this lock interesting? This must be a thief. Okay. As best as you can, without telling me trade secrets, how secure is this lock? Is it easy to enchant? Is it easy to pick?
You were there. We watched you.
Nox is going to sigh and he's going to cast Disguise Self and he's going to look like them.
He could be any one of us. Are you? Yeah, it's me.
So, and he's going to dispel it. It was someone else that looked like me. I need your help to clear my name.
Do a persuasion check with disadvantage.
Ooh, 4.
You are not convincing them at all. They're still too focused about you. You might feel like having someone else try.
Rovan, Naya, are one of you two better at talking to people than I am? I think it's best that I step outside.
I'll give it a shot.
He's
You
on the
remember
board.
who you're speaking to.
Rovan, you have a way with the words that no other can match. Anyways, Nox is going to take a few steps away. And as he walks by, he's going to pat Naya on the shoulder and cast guidance on her.
You'll see a couple of the Earth Gensai kind of like alleviate a little bit the farther he goes out. Is he gone? I see him leaving, but the others are still here. Yeah, but did you guys see what they did outside? Like when they were no. We die if they go ahead and kill us. Well, that's kind of how killing works.
Approaches with an easy smile and a hi. I'm sorry. It could. Oh, this is extremely awkward. I'm sorry. Are you all alright? Hi, I'm Nia. Did they introduce themselves? Because I might have missed that.
No.
Okay, I'm Nia. Who might you all be? I'm sorry. I'm trying to get to the bottom of this as well. I'm very confused. Could you help me out?
I'm Brother Abster, and this is Brother Den.
Hello, Brother Dims. All right. So I'm given to understand the crown was stolen by someone who looked like she gestures sort of over her shoulder. The gnome gentleman who has just stepped out.
He showed up. It was definitely him. I swear it was him. He kept laughing and he was giggling and
Hey, it's all right. Can you give me sort of a timeline of events? And did he say anything in particular, or was he just laughing? Was he being threatening at all?
no, we they kind of like look at each other back and forth. They look back at you. I mean, he's been here before. He left the goblins here and their
Back in the
gator.
Is that what happened? I don't remember.
That is what happened.
Okay.
Nox, Roven, and the other crew had dropped off the goblins and Dag and the gator here.
At the same point, don't forget that Gator and the goblins probably saved all of them from certain death.
As well as Enxi. As
They're heroes.
he came in like around 6 o'clock, and he was pointing, laughing, jabbing at us a bunch of times with a weapon.
What
We
kind
were kind of.
weapon?
It was a long pole with a pointy, kind of like stripy end, like yeah, like that.
Bless you.
Good God, I just about shit myself.
But yeah, he showed up and he kept saying weird things to us. He was laughing oddly, and then he went inside and he went up towards the chambers. And then when he came back out, he went down and talked with the goblins and Dag, and they all happily followed him out.
That's concerning.
They were laughing and saying something about that they finally got a job.
Oh dear. That
Did the gator go with them?
No, it's still within our control. We've been taking turns and keeping it calm, but truth be told, it has been unruly lately.
Well, without its congregation,
Handlers?
that is understandable.
Yes. When we went up eventually to go do our praying, we found the glass chamber was completely empty. The
You too
entire
pray to the gator. You
no,
too
not
are
the gator.
followers of
The crown was gone.
I find that disconcerting that you pray to a crown when you have a literal god in your midst.
Oh, it's a gift of Mirgan. Of course, we would pray to it. It's one of the greatest relics we could ever have. Such a powerful artifact. We have it secured inside of a and kind of Den and Abster will kind of show how big it is. Effectively, actually, like putting their arms at like right angles, showing it's about the size of two people across from each other. It's well secured and been held together. But when we went up, it was empty, completely empty, in fact, but nothing was broken. The glass was intact, and the spells were still enchanted, and the lock was still in place.
Is there any way you could examine the resting place of this crown and see if perhaps it's been illusioned and is still actually there?
would you permit me to do that? To examine the resting place? You of course could observe me the entire time.
They kind of say that they'll have to go up and meet with Dominique and Stefan, but they probably will not feel very comfortable in the presence of him. But yes, they'd be willing to go show you.
Thank you.
You head upstairs into the upper chambers. It takes a while to actually kind of go up this elaborate tree-like structure, and eventually you make it into this throne room-like room. And the very center, you see a guard on either side. and you see what almost kind of looks like a very elaborate gold encrusted glass case that's about big enough to fit 2 humans.
Oh,
And on it is a pedestal, and the pedestal itself has like a pillow like formation, and there's nothing on it.
Observing the pillow, is there a depression in it that's sort of shaped like a crown?
Uh, what you would probably see looks like an old impression.
all right.
Mm.
Nia's going to um, once again cast detect magic.
This room is
Maybe
full
his
of
original
magic.
spell doesn't- well, yes, I know, but it could maybe show me like the general shapes of what's going on here, what colors, and like what it looks like specifically around the holding place of the crown. What kind of magic sort of clusters there?
A lot of the magic that you kind of get around is abjuration, and you do notice quite a few different formations of protective magics that are currently in place. But they're willing to actually open up the case for you if you want.
Yes, I would appreciate that quite a lot.
Fucking
They
judgmental
both take.
pricks. Sorry.
Thanks. The Gensai kind of get into a praying position, and one of them takes time actually taking out this very elaborate lock and key effectively, and unlocks the front door. As you hear the hiss of the 2 doors opening, you can just go ahead and make out it's very well preserved on the inside, but you do have access now to the inside of the case.
All right, Nia's going to step closer and just look it all over. Does it look? Does it seem like any spells were cast on the inside of it? Like, does it look like the spell work is intact from the inside?
You do see the flickers of magic from the inside passing through the metal innards.
Alright.
It is not hidden that this container is magical.
The cushion where the crown was held. Are there any lingering remnants of the magic of the crown? Like, would I be seeing divine remnants? Like, is it particularly bright? Is it too dark? Is it like what does it look like?
You do see little bits of what looks like kind of brown bark, which is what the original crown was made of. Actually, let me rephrase that. It's not bark, but more so like shell.
Okay.
The crown of Mirgan, as one of the Gensai will inform you, was made from the shell pieces of the great grandmother. Part of which that actually.
Sorry, I can't hear you. Could you repeat that?
Oh, I was gonna say parts of which actually Nox actually already has.
Wait,
But
what do I already have?
you have dragon turtle parts.
Oh, from then, yeah.
Hmm.
But but you don't sense any big lingering magic.
Hmm. This was a divine artifact?
It was one legendary in quality. It was said to be forged by Miss Mirgan herself.
Would I know of this object? Would I have seen it somewhere along the lines?
You could do a historical check if you like.
I do, because I don't know if Neo would probably not know this, but yeah.
I don't know why I double tapped it. It did though.
Can I roll Arcana to see just if maybe they missed something being forced to open the crate?
Sure.
Okay, sure.
You actually, Eris, it's more like a religion check, I guess. She is a god. Got it. What? That's your Arcana check.
The Arcana?
Yeah.
Oh no, I that's her Arcana, but
Yeah.
religion is what you're looking for.
Oh my.
Wow.
Okay.
That is not helpful.
Between your, as a god, you had never really kind of recognize much of her works, and truth be told, there's been a lot going on, so it's probably gonna get your mind on. But historically speaking, you have heard of stories from old sailors who talked about the crown of Murgen, one particular crown that was capable of protecting its users from the crushing powers of the depths of the ocean, that you would be able to effectively walk on the bottom of the ocean with no effect whatsoever onto your body. It effectively gives the user invulnerability to pressure, which is a very, very, very useful thing when you're literally in an atmosphere where it's a whole mix of pressures. With your 24 there, Naya, and what is it you're looking for in terms of Arcana?
I'm examining the enchantment, seeing if I can find any lingering threads of something that may have been used to temporarily disable them, and then re-enable them. Rather than shorting them out and destroying them, something that could pause them and then let them go again, or just turn them off and then back on again. Is the magic the same? Like, is there a seam to it? Does it feel like it's been this way continually, or has it been interrupted like before this interruption that they've graciously granted me?
While you're looking through the inside, you don't pick up on anything that looks oddly different. And I'm going to ask also for a perception check while you're doing that. Yeah, do a perception check. But one of the things you do pick up on as you kind of look towards the pillow is kind of a bit of a sheen at one of the corners. And when you are examining it, it almost looks like moisture.
Huh.
Which, for a very preserved, well-made case, the fact that this kind of corner area is kind of tampered with is much different than the rest. There's no other area that shows this particular minor sheen, and you would almost tell that it's magical moisture. When looking around inside the cage, you also can just pick up the faintest amounts of what possibly looks like two footprints on the ground.
Oh, okay. So, hmm.
They're very faint, though. It really wasn't an impression.
Is hmm. Um, hmm. Nia's going to use a light cantrip on we'll say she just has a convenient little, like, she has a necklace with like a convenient little pendant. She casts light on the pendant and sort of folds it out, like, so they can see the sheen of moisture in the corner, and then she moves it over and is like, I think these look like footprints, and indicates the sort of impressions on the bottom of the case, or ground, or whatever it is.
It looks almost like the trace remnants of dirt.
Okay.
And you almost see the Gensai getting immediately upset and like running to go get cleaning material.
Nia's going to take out a handkerchief and stoop and sort of dab up a little bit with the dirt and like hold it up to the light and be like, does it look like any kind of special dirt, or is it just dirt?
Do an investigation.
Sure, why not?
Actually, you know what? Do a nature check, I guess.
Okay.
Why not?
Investigation.
You tasted it.
No.
Yeah, yeah. Brother, what do you smell? Dirt.
Yeah, no. This is she has no idea. This is just dirt to her. She's like,
It looks like dirt.
Yeah, she's trying to do detective novel shit, but she's not a detective. She's a bard. This is like she's playing Sherlock Holmes. She isn't actually Sherlock Holmes.
You show it to your brother, and you're like, "What do you recognize?" I've seen a lot of dirt. That's dirt.
Yeah. I know, you little mud puppy, and she nudges him, but no, it's.
Ma'am, if it's all right, we would like to clean it up.
Oh yes. Just what kind of magic could cause? Why would there be dirt and water? And why would there be magical water specifically? And in this corner,
Do you collect this dirt?
I collect some dirt, and I think she's going to take a second handkerchief and sort of dab up some of the water. Is it water, or is it like something gooey, or like does it have?
It's almost like if you took a spray bottle,
just a fine mist of water.
like a fine mist of water that was just coming off in terms of like the effect is lingering and going away over time.
Does the case feel solid beneath it?
The case feels solid beneath it. Otherwise,
Well, I'm fucking stumped. I've tried nothing, and I'm all out of ideas. Nia carefully puts away the 2 handkerchiefs with the evidence in the flimsiest term of the word, and just sort of puts them away and is like, thank you for letting me look at this. Oh, how big were the impressions? Like, were they gnome-sized footprints? Wait. Did they like? Was there any sort of? Was it just sort of a like vague shape of it, or was there like a tread? Was there like the tread of shoes visible in it?
you notice definitely would look like the positioning of 2 feet. And when you get a kind of a look at it compared to your own, you notice that these feet are about matching where you'd be.
Hey, Knox, I need one of your shoes.
I say that over the chirp.
Yeah.
Nox will grumble. Yes, I can give you one. You'll have to come out here and get it. I don't want to disturb them.
Nia's like, hold up for just a moment. Don't clean that up just yet. And she's going to be like, okay, who's nearest to Nia right now?
Technically, the Gensai.
Okay.
And your brother.
Okay, she's going to notice and just could you go retrieve Knox, or at least one of his shoes, real quick? I'm going to just stay here and make sure they don't get rid of the dirt impressions just yet.
You see him run off to go get your brother. Sorry, to go get Knox. Knox, you see Mortis charging at you and diving for one of your feet.
Oh, good God! And Nox is going to try and jump up, and hopefully compression will just like help him by picking him up.
And as you...
Nia yells after him, no, ask him! He said he...
As compression lifts him up, you feel the of your shoe pop off from the bottom. Boris, by the way, you've been following... What are you making of all this as you watch this very possibly dead-looking individual seemingly charge and grab after your criminal suspect?
Nothing.
I'm sorry?
Boris is just standing there. No one's running away, and they're working on their task. So Boris is satisfied.
He is content. The shoe is not the suspect, but the shoe is off. The shoe is now no longer on the other foot. As your brother seemingly comes back up the stairs with the shoe.
I suppose we're just waiting for the other shoe to drop now.
Oh God, I did it.
Oh,
I felt that in my soul.
You brought this one on yourself. That pun was a shoe in.
Well, if the shoe fits.
For fuck.
So anyway, you bring your shoe back up.
Bring that along like that.
Okay, he's gonna sock us if we keep this up.
So you bring your shoe back up.
Puns that we're putting in here, Jesus.
Oh. Okay, so Nia's going to take the shoe, and she's going to compare the shoe with the prints on the dirty prints on the ground.
The shoe print and the size of Nox's boot, there's really not enough dirt to kind of like match it completely. It probably looks like the heel was there.
So it's the same size, like the shoe fits.
The shoe mostly fits.
Mostly, like it does this the tread match?
I mean, there's not literally. This is not. We're not talking about like a literal like. There's not enough mud to do a 1-to-1 comparison.
That's fair.
Nox is also going to echo over through the chirp. It is very possible that it will come across as my exact shoe due to the all-encompassing nature of Disguise Self.
I honestly thought that there was a how do words work? Blah.
Would Disguise Self keep that?
I think this guy's stuff only is illusory. It doesn't actually change the physical nature of things.
Do you allow them to clean the container?
I mean, I can't really stop them. This is, their holy relic thing.
As they clean the container and finish up, Eris and Naya, can I both have a perception check?
Boy, all right. Come on, girl, see something. Bitch is blind as
Okay.
fuck.
Eris, what do you get?
Oh, sorry, what?
Eris, we're perception check. Oh my gosh. Naya, you watch as the container closes and you kind of observe the dirt that you've located. Eris, while you're kind of looking towards her and watching the closed container, it becomes evident that the container doesn't fully seal.
It's a that's
It's a
that's
it's a
entirely closed.
if you upon closer inspection you notice it's not big, but there is technically a separation between the two doors.
Nia's going to point that out. Did Nia see that, or was that Eris?
That was Eris.
Oh, sorry.
Eris, you notice that there is technically a separation of the two doors.
I will point out this fact. Seems odd for this thing, especially with the care and maintain that they run with it.
The Gensai will kind of mention as you kind of bring it up, we could not have the doors. They are glass. They would most shatter if they would just hit each other too hard. So it's more for aesthetic, but the protections are still in place.
All right. Does it need to be sealed? Because you seem to be awfully concerned about dirt.
This holy American would be most unhappy if she knew that. Please tell your friend to return the crown back soon.
We're looking into it. Not us causing the issue.
Yes, good. Thank you. And they will follow you out.
Anything worth noticing, friends?
Well, it was someone who was roughly your size, I suppose. Sorry, I honestly thought that was the shoe was bigger. But yeah, she returns the shoe with a sorry, Mortis was a little over enthusiastic, and she elbows him gently, like that was seriously. I mean, I appreciate the expeditiousness, but maybe like dial it back a little sometimes. Oh.
Well, I suspect the goblins are the key to this whole endeavor.
Now, quick question there, Swan. Does disguise self completely disguise oneself, including shoes and everything?
Disguise self. You make yourself, including your clothing, armor, weapons, and other belongings on your person, look different until the spells end or until you use an action to dismiss it.
Look different though. I would swear there's
As
errata that says it just appears that way.
as you guys are progressing out, discussing the middle of the case, one of the Gensai will also mention, you guys be careful when you're down in Wormtown. I saw you run off there, and it is not good territory.
Thank you for the tip. We will certainly be careful. And Nia's going to do like the charming smile and the like kind of aw shucks, kind of look how harmless and nice I am. It's not really an act, but it's also like she's playing it up a little bit.
It's like the puppy that's actually a viper.
Not really.
Ooh, I want a puppy
Maybe
viper.
maybe like a boa like a boa constrictor in like one of those cute
Yes, the
sweaters.
death needles.
Thank you very much for allowing my friends to investigate and clearing my name. I will do everything I can to return this to you from those who actually stole it.
They as you can probably discern, they're not the most investigative type, so they can't be like, but he's the one who took it. No, he said it was a spell. He did not do it. Yeah, but we watched him. And he came in, and then he left. No. It was. He said it was a spell. Oh, but it did
Comrade
look.
Boris.
But it did look.
Comrade Boris, how good is your sense of smell?
Really?
Do you know what goblin smells like?
Yes.
We go to Wormtown. You smell for goblin.
Okay.
Okay, Boris, I need a survival check.
You have to get to Wormtown first. Are we in
Oh.
agreement, folks?
I suppose we have that. That's our lead. Let's go for it.
Should I disguise myself?
Do you disguise yourself?
Nox is asking his party.
Might be prudent. Perhaps a Thickreen guard would be a wise choice.
Except I do not imitate those very well. Because don't they mostly speak mentally?
Don't talk.
Nox will raise an eyebrow. Are
Rogan
you
will raise
suggesting...
one back.
The eyebrow wars. God, this is a rock. This is like a rock standoff.
Who could raise their eyebrow more? At one point, one of these eyebrows is coming off.
Yeah, no shit.
It was that his eyebrows raised so high, it actually just fused with his hair.
See it hovering above his head.
How do you do that? I don't fucking know. It's not even magic.
Like some
It's
sort of animal
biological.
shit.
I don't understand.
Nox is gonna ponder for a moment and wonder what exactly he should.
While Nox is pondering, Comrade Boris, about those goblins.
Yes.
I need a survival check for smell.
We need to bring-
perception.
That is a perception check.
Perception. Okay.
No,
We
no,
need to-
it's a wisdom, effectively, wisdom check.
There's a group of goblins that need to be brought into the Emperor's enlightenment, and we need to find them.
I rolled a 9.
You smell a lot of things as you guys start to make your way into Wormtown. Not all of them are goblin. You smell something that may be a goblin, but you also smell that on trash day.
No, before we get down, Nox is going to stop the party for what it's worth. Oh, Rovin, I could always disguise myself as a good old counselor. Let him understand what it means to have someone steal your identity and not cause the chaos that you cause.
As much as I enjoy antagonizing our dear counselor, we should probably not.
You're
the-
right. You're right.
Then again, it would be amusing.
I might tone him down a little bit, but you're right. It's best not to antagonize.
The impression that I get from him is he's either guilty or he's very, very flustered. Odd that he was the one to come and confront us, though.
Honestly, if anything, I'd classify him as incompetent and not suitable for his task. But he was voted in, so what can one do?
Well, he's either extremely incompetent or a very, very good actor. So He's either too stupid to have performed this feat, or he's smarter than any of us give him credit for, which is considerably disconcerting.
Incredibly. Nox is going to just disguise himself as... Actually, you know what? He's going to disguise himself as... No, that's better.
My
One
vote
second.
is shrubbery.
He is going to disguise himself as one of the... Oh, what's her name? From the little... Before the session started. What's her name? As Esteban.
As Esteban.
Yep.
Okay.
No connection whatsoever.
You guys kind of see a bit of tinkering from behind as Nox pulls out a series. You know what, Nox? How does your disguise self magic project?
Nox is going to pull out one of those muse masks. He's going to place some on his face, and you're going to see like gears and things start whirling off in it, and as it starts like stretching and constructing itself across his face and his body, it's just going to slowly envelop him as it goes from a mechanical to now a magical facade that appears.
And then after a little bit, you see a taller, older gentleman standing in Nox.
Shall we go? Nox is going to try practicing his voice.
Boris, your target is missing and now is replaced with an old man.
What? Sorry.
As the DM Bush speaks with you, your target has now changed his appearance. How do you feel about that?
I still see him, and I know it's him, right?
You still see him and you know it's him.
All right. Pretty indifferent.
You're still focused on trying to smell out these goblins. You do smell something in the bushes. No, that's definitely junk.
Actually, hang on a second. I think my map is not. I need to refresh the page. Hang on. Let me see what's going on here. Much like my character, I'm not half paying attention.
How will you guys track the goblins from here?
Do
Actually,
I observe?
Are we still in the city area, the market district? Oh, okay.
Yep.
Yep.
So I would assume that a horde of goblins, such as our that we have, would leave a bit of a trail. I don't think it's possible to be a goblin and not leave a
Actually,
trail.
Swan. So I get I think some traits that increase my perception over survival.
Okay.
A perception check to see if I see anything.
Yeah, I'll give you a perception check.
All right, let's see what I can do here. Oh yeah, 18. There we go. Much better.
Nice.
As you watch Boris go onto both his hands and knees, smelling the ground and looking forward, Boris, in the far distance, you notice what looks like a piece of a shamanic, almost like a little bit of a piece of a shamanic piece of outfit that kind of has been kicked to the corner of the curb. It is not fitting of the surrounding area.
Comrades, I think I see something over there.
Lead on for the Emperor.
Nox is going to kind of nod his head going, okay, I'm a little impressed. He's seeming useful.
And it is through Comrade Boris's elite tracking skill that the Empire has taught him well that over time you progress from one piece of shamanic material to a piece of old chewed food that seems to be off to the side. You then move on over bit by bit, going along until in the very corner of a building near the garbage, you find a bone flute.
Is it still intact?
It is still intact. The building that you end up in front of looks to be condemned.
Eris, any way you could do an aerial survey of this area without being too obvious?
Yeah, for sure.
One
try.
sec. 1 second, friends. I might have a bot for this. Where is that bot? Big of bots. There they are. No, never mind. I do not have a bot for this. Sorry, I thought I had something. Thought I had something.
You want to do perception, Sean, or try and do like a stealth to make it less obvious?
How do you approach? Are you just kind of looking at the building, or are you trying to get a closer look at it?
What am I looking for? I had a bit of an issue there for a bit.
So you had located this condemned-looking building. The front of the building has one door, which doesn't seem any more out of the ordinary than most. But looking up, multiple windows have been filled with versions of what looks to be like old plaster and cement. One single window at the very top on the third floor does appear to be boarded up from the inside.
And Robin, what were you wanting to look at? Okay.
Well, there's our friend here has led us to this area. There's a very good possibility that our goblin horde is inside. I was hoping to get a bit of a lay of the land before we proceeded any further. See if you can see if anything of interest, any entrances into the building that we could, and try not to be seen while doing it.
Well, just looking at the exterior building, Sean, I'll just fly around the outside, kind of nonchalantly.
It looks to be like a townhouse, and you go into the back. It doesn't really have much of a backyard, and there's no exit out the back either. This was really shoddily made. As you kind of look around, you kind of get a sense that Wormtown is not the best quality compared to like the higher ends of the city. This looks to be like kind of where the beginning of a ghetto may have started. Um, and it's definitely looking more and more like this building has been left in disarray.
Once completing my circle and observation, I'll land back by the group again. From what I can tell, the only entrance to this building is in front of us. There is no other real way in or out otherwise. Its overall workmanship is shoddy at best, but yeah, it's the only visible entrance I can see.
All right.
So the entrance to the building does appear to be an old standard door. And then there's also another entrance at the third floor to the left. There is a window, but it's boarded up on the inside.
Well, I recommend that we use some caution here and we investigate. So, sorry, I have to look up the spell again. Can I please do a pass without trace on everybody?
Damn.
So, for those of you who don't know what this does, is it makes you ultra stealthy. You basically get plus 10 to any stealth stuff.
That is awesome.
And before we continue, guys, I will submit this question. It is roughly now hitting 11 o'clock. Um, do you guys want to continue for another hour, or you want to stop right here?
With half an hour, I'll have to log off and deal with cat stuff.
So you
Go
want to
for
give another half hour?
then.
Boris, are you going to be able to hold on for another half hour?
Yeah, I'm good for a while.
No, fine. Whatever.
I was not feeling good today and like just woke up at like 6, so
Oh.
my sleep schedule's dorked up.
I assume the spell is successful, Sean? A veil of shadows and silence radiates from you, masking your companions from detection.
For the duration, which is up to 1 hour, as long as they're within 30 feet of you, they get that plus 10.
Yes.
As long as they
Can't be
remain
tracked.
30 feet?
Yeah, you guys have to be within 30 feet of Rovan. Effectively,
Hold to
Rovan
report.
is doing within 30 feet of him, brushing away your footprints.
There's a little broom attached to his ass.
That's what they got the seagull for. Seagull's taking care of it.
I see.
Oh!
Bird.
Your seagull is sitting on top of a building. It's still not great friends with you, but you fed me a bit of food, and I like you for that.
He is a suspicious seagull.
Slowly lifts eye patch down over one eye. How will y'all proceed?
Can we open the door without being overly... Or what would it take to open the door stealthily?
Nox will pull out his lockpick set, and they'll try and pick the lock.
Okay, give me a perception check, and give me a lock-picking check.
Actually, before Nox does that, he's going to reach down, get close to the lock, pull back. He's going to cast Detect Magic.
You definitely detect some magic.
The door magical?
Something nearby is definitely magical.
I can pick.
And it's coming up as abjuration.
I can pick locks, but I cannot deal with traps that well.
Yeah, could you dispel that by any chance without raising an alarm?
I do not have the dispel ability.
Hello,
Maya,
Bard.
you...
Ew, what happened?
We have a abjuration spell on the door we want to get through.
Ah, of course. I'm going to cast Dispel Magic.
You feel a little bits of your magic as you hum a soft tune towards the door. And as the magic passes over, the door doesn't change in any particular way.
Nox. Please continue.
By the way, did someone... Eris, is that a new perception, or is that an old perception?
So, do you want me to?
That's an old one. Okay. I think I did ask for a perception from y'all, if you like.
Okay.
Oh, yes.
Oh, sorry.
6.
16.
Those who are investigating the door.
I can't see shit. This bitch is quite blind.
That is how her dispel magic went off.
14.
Can't see shit.
I got an 18.
Who got an 18?
Boris.
Boris, while you were sniffing around, you noticed underneath the door that there's just the faintest crack. And you notice what looks like a bit of flapping paper that seems to line the bottom of the door. Bit unusual for there to be paper on the other side of the door.
Hey. Boris is thinking.
Boris is processing. Hold on. Everyone back up. There's steam coming off. This is a red dragon born thinking real hard here.
Let's see. What kind of check would this be to get more information on this? To see whether or not that would mean anything to Boris.
Probably an investigation.
All right, let's see. Where is investigation? All right, let's see. All right, we rolled a 13 for investigation.
It looks like paper.
Looks like paper. Can I do a history check to see if there's any sort of like local significance to paper being under the door?
Sure.
All right, I rolled an 18.
You figure that in your time of having worked in the Empire, it was very infrequent for there to be these kinds of little bits of paper, but you do notice at the very end of staring at this paper what looks to be like the disintegrating pieces of ink falling off of the paper since Nias spat her little had said her little spell. While watching this paper kind of disintegrate, or rather the ink falling off of it, you remind yourself that it is possible there might be traps, and maybe even magical in nature.
You little person. I think there is something behind that door. Go check it. I'm pointing at Knox.
Very astute. Yes, I think we have understood that ourselves. We are investigating. Nox is going to glance at Robin going, who the fuck does this guy think he is?
He is Boris.
He's doing his best.
He's got good credentials.
He's got good credentials. It's his one little fucking name tag. The B on his name tag came off. It just says Oris.
Oris. He's an Oris,
Oh.
I guess.
We disenchanted his name.
Now we find out who he truly is.
Or does he have a name at all? Or perhaps he doesn't. Perhaps he has forgotten. Oh no! Oh no! Maybe we took away his name. Oh no!
Hold that thought while I mess around and gimp a little bit.
But Nox, do you unlock the door?
I do not detect any magic on the other side of the door.
Are you using detect magic?
Yes, it's always on.
Oh, okay. After Naya's spell goes off, you no longer detect magic.
Nox is going to work on... Is the door open? He's going to first try and open the door.
The door pushes inward, but you do feel the click of the door unlocking.
Nox is going to reach for his back, pull his rifle off his back, which is currently disguised as a broomstick. And he's going to just kind of hold on to it like he's using it like a crutch.
You guys can see the map, right? Like
yes.
Okay.
I just see a black screen.
Scroll down. Scroll down.
You have to scroll down.
Oh.
Like mid down.
I see only blackness. Oh wait, my hood was down.
Anyone know where the color selector got moved to in GIMP?
It's in one of the tabs. You have to switch to it. It's on the right, I believe.
Esteban, while you are pushing the door in, you very gently can start to notice a bit of what looks to be like scroll paper.
Here.
Nox is going to investigate the scroll paper as he picks it up and steps.
You can't. It's literally wrapped around the door.
Oh,
So effectively, like it looks like they condemned the door on the opposite side.
oh, so not
could
like
just
a
make-
scroll, but like just okay.
Like it's scroll paper that you would write a spell on, but it was put in a way that if you would determine that if you probably push the door, it would tear the paper.
Was there any resistance when pushing the door open?
You can feel some resistance. If you continue to push, you will tear the paper.
Explosive runes.
It looks like that they have condemned this place, but I'm hesitant to push it all the way open. It might reveal our presence.
I will mind you and say that the door no longer feels magical.
Yes, but the best traps are non-magical traps. Nox is going to glance at his companions. Shall we continue on this path?
Can't hurt, I suppose.
We are committed. Let's go see if the door will explode.
Nox is going to give the door a solid shove.
You hear the immediate rip going all the way down. I need everyone to just sit there politely because nothing happens.
Nox will enter the room, pretending like he's hobbling on his broomstick.
Room, motherfucker.
You guys see Nox push the door in and slowly begin to step inside, wielding his broomstick like a shotgun.
Like a crutch.
Yeah,
Like a crutch. I thought you were like,
like
there's some child who's really watching this bar stand looking man and is like, I want to be here when I grow up.
I'm sure you do, Timmy. I'm sure you do.
That's what you do. As you go
oh
inside,
God,
you definitely
the poor kid's saddled with a name like Timmy.
As
He
you-
never had a chance.
as you head inside, you definitely can notice that this paper was covering up the entire inside of this door. Effectively set in a way that should the door have been opened, it would have been ripped. But you can also notice the very fading bits of magical ink that are falling apart.
Is there any way for Nox to be able to put them back together and see what they were? Like,
You can still probably read it if you use Arcana.
oh, fuck yeah. He's definitely arcanaing that shit.
I was also going to have a look. Because, she did dispel it. She is curious.
21?
With a 21
17.
and a 17, you'd recognize what it looks like, the large snowflake-like symbol in the center, but you can definitely pick up off of a spell of Glyph of Warding.
Well, they sure did do that.
You would assume by reading this that you would have taken a fair amount of damage had it gone off.
Oh,
You enter into the dusty looking room and don't see anything off the ordinary except some oldish furniture that is scattered throughout the apartment. You notice a series of chairs, a table in the kitchen. You can see a couple of couches that are kind of just pushed together. You notice the fireplace has been effectively off for some time, as most things seem to be covered in dust.
Why is this place protected when there is nothing here?
is there nothing here?
Does my detect magic sense anything?
You don't detect any magic.
Do we see any footprints or anything? So if it's dusty, do we see anything that's been recently disturbed? Footprints, any disturbance in the dust, anything that looks a little bit too clean, perhaps.
Give me. Oh my god, it's perfect. Oh my god, it's absolutely perfect. Okay, there's like side shit I got to be doing at the same time. As you go ahead and invest, I need an investigation check.
Investigation or perception?
Investigation.
Investigation.
Not very great.
15.
Giving everyone else a moment to catch up.
Oh, you want all of us to investigate? Sure.
Well, whoever wants. If it was just Rovin, that's fine.
Where are my fucking buttons?
16 for Nox.
Oh yeah, we got 5. Boris is on.
Boris is on this fucking. There we go.
Nia apparently can actually sort of see things.
You guys should refresh your page and see if Boris is still like.
Boris is,
It's
oh,
a.
no.
You can't read it on the icon there, but his medal says Boris very qualified.
It says Boris,
Hey.
very VERYKUALIFIED, qualified.
Wait,
And
where?
he looks like the goodest boy. I will now put this into the. Oh,
Oh my
Oh,
god.
this will go into character creation.
Oh, don't worry, Boris. We will have
Legendary.
fun with this.
Positively legendary.
Boris, you have become increasingly interested in this fireplace as the memory of heat also reminds you of your own blood inside. Those who are not looking at the fireplace, who got roughly around 14 and above, will notice that there is scuffing of dust that leads to the 2 couches that have been pushed together.
Can we investigate the couches without touching them?
They look like some shoddy ass looking couches, man.
What does the floor underneath the couches look like? Does it look like there could be perhaps a trapdoor or something of that nature?
You put your face up against the very dusty looking floor as some of the dust seems to collect onto your cheek, and you can make what does appear to look like a metal looking handle underneath.
The couch?
Can
Let's
we-
get it out of the way.
Let's go find us some goblins.
You guys pull apart the couch.
Let us stealthily pull apart the couches. Keep in mind, we are stealths.
You go ahead and pull apart the couches, and nothing happens.
Very good.
As
Shall
you
we-
go potty over here. Love you, Lisa. No, it's just funny. It's a moment. Anyway, so you go ahead and pull apart the couches, and you do see a large hatch-like doorway going down.
Well, if anybody has any objections, if no objections, let's open this thing and be done with this.
Nox is going to look around it, check if it's trapped.
Investigation check, please.
So, his magic going, his detect magic going off.
There's no magic.
Ooh, fuck. 24.
My word.
With a 24, you see that this was probably the shittiest looking standard ass fucking place to hide a fucking trapdoor, truth be told. This is actually kind of offensive in the quality. And with that being said, there's no trap on this door.
Nox is going to put his hand on the door and look at his friends. Ready?
Let's
Away
do
we
this.
go.
You pull up on the handle and look to see that the floor or rather, what's underneath has been completely removed, and you see a large tunnel-like passage going straight down with a very crudely made ladder. It has become obvious that somebody, more observant but obvious, that somebody has tunneled straight down as you look down towards the blackness below.
How far does it appear to extend?
It is black as crap.
All right.
How far do you have dark vision?
Yes, 60
Yes.
feet.
It is still dark.
Excellent. Well, I guess we will. Rowan will proceed down the ladder then, being very, very careful and testing weight prior to committing to each rung, because he does not trust this particular ladder.
You said it goes straight down?
Straight down.
Give me 1 second. Nox may have something for this.
If only someone had feather fall.
If only somebody had thought to drop like a rock or something into it before.
There we go.
Don't tempt Boris to throw someone down the hole.
Nox is going to pull one of his pebbles out of his pockets. He's going to tap it with his thieves tool. These pebble is now going to shed a bright light in a 5-foot radius and dim light for an additional 5 feet. And he's going to drop the rock down.
And blow our stealth out of the water.
The pebble drops. And as Rovan is already on a couple rungs, you see it immediately pass him.
Unless you want to grab it, Rovan.
Not particularly. We'll let it drop.
Looking down, you can just see the very, very hint of light. It is probably about 110 feet down.
Well, Rovan will proceed down.
Nox is quickly going to touch 3 more of his pebbles in his pockets, and he's going to cause the last one to the spell on it to no longer affect the pebble, so it's dark again.
I will not be going down this hole.
Eris has volunteered not to go down into the deep dark below.
Very good. Eris Garda returned.
I'll keep an eye on this hole, but I will not be joining you down there. That's places where I cannot go.
Understood. Watch our backs to make sure that nothing sneaks up on us, please.
I'll keep an eye out.
As Cat gets very meowed.
That is very emphatic.
Yes. We have 8 minutes left on the session.
As you progress further and further down, rung by rung, eventually making it to the bomb, you see a passage that seems to head out and down.
Bomb?
I think he meant bottom, but I caught bomb too.
Yeah.
A passage. As you get down to the bottom, you look out and you can see that there is a passage that seems to continue to move forward, getting slowly wider as it goes further and further away.
How wide is it?
At your current angle, it's about 20 feet in size, but as it goes down further, to Rovan, you can see it looks like it's getting up to maybe 30 feet and kind of expanding at an outward angle.
How far down do we have to go, Rovan?
Fair ways. Okay.
Oh my goodness. There's a font for Draconic in D&D.
Nice.
Oh, I'm going to upgrade Boris's medal.
Oh my.
How will
can
you
we
guys
use
proceed?
So, using primeval awareness, do I get hit? Does primeval awareness?
I think you may want to try that again there, Drew.
Does primeval awareness trigger?
I am double checking the list of creatures. As you feel the internal magic flow through you and then into the rock and the dirt surrounding you, you focus in on your inner self, into your inner self, feeling your eyes close as you kind of draw yourself in. And as this ping sends off, it comes back, but there's no there's no ping as there usually had been in the past. No positive effect.
I will relay to our party that we are likely to encounter flesh and blood creatures, if any. No demons or undead or any of that such.
Excellent. I'd like much to have something physical to shoot. They bleed.
All right. And did we want to kind of leave it here?
We can definitely leave it here.
All right.
Oh, how exciting.
We're in a
And we're
hole.
going to switch. So what do we think so far?
Nox does not like this person.
Yeah, this is a kind of a dick.
He's incredibly curious at how A, it figured out his name. B, why him? And C, how many bullets can it take before it dies?
Depends on the caliber.
It is currently 12 p.m. noontime. You have 12 hours, according to that letter, before bad things may happen,
Oh dear.
that you guys are supposed to pick up and leave town. But your only means of escape have also been locked down by the police and Sheriff Boris, who kindly has taken upon himself to be very qualified.
What an absolute dickwit, Weasel.
I
Are we talking
presume
about Boris or are we talking about the
Oh,
guy?
not Boris. The other guy. Sorry, I was not talking about Boris.
I've been doing Boris right then.
Boris is doing the Empire's work.
Boris is doing he thing.
Oh, I think we can have fun with Boris.
Indeed, he is an entertaining fellow.
But
Thank you.
it has certainly been. You guys started off having the most delightful bowl of noodles, and ensuring that the postage continues to work.
I knew we should have burned that package right when we received it.
and watch as our friends die because of us?
You greatly underestimate the abilities of our goblin friends. Woo those who attempt to harm that horde.
Yeah, no, you got a point there, but
The reason that all hell hasn't broken loose is because this individual has convinced these goblins that they have a job. What that job might be, I'm not sure. However, if they realize they have been duped, may Nocturna have mercy on their souls.
yeah, those goblins might not take too kindly when they realize that's not a boom maker.
Well, they seem to have already kind of noticed it since Dag's dagger has been snapped in half. A dagger that he literally was named after.
Yes, Rovan was thinking about that and was thinking that we should go find a nice replacement for Dag.
Maybe one with a poison enchantment?
Mm,
Wink, wink, nudge, nudge over at the Falcon.
I'm
I,
with you
I
right
was
now.
hoping
I'm in
that
top of a hole. You can't see anything.
I was hoping that perhaps Vale might have a spare one. Might have to give a short sword.
Eris now has a working relationship with the man that he saved. In the middle of Boris, I know that you are already a bit of a comedic character, and I'll take that into consideration. Eris has been the man who, in the middle of a deathly situation, tried to negotiate prices with someone in the middle of the market. And personally, one of my now more favorite moments of, oh my god, everything's burning. By the way, how much is this? What? Why?
It
Yeah,
was
just asking. How?
perfect.
Alright, guys. I'm gonna flop out though. You all have a great one.
Next Wednesday?
Laters.
Oh, okay. I guess he
I
said mentally. Uh, Jada, I don't know if you will still be here or if the time will allow you, but we do play on Wednesdays if you want to swing by next Wednesday.
Here, yeah, should be free for a little bit longer.
We'd love to see how the continued adventure of Boris happens and whether or not he will finish his investigation and if we
Oh,
can happy with the results.
I think Boris is going to be very interesting.
He's
Very
already
nice.
interesting. This is delightful.
He is the
Yes.
goodest boy.
He
This was
is.
a bit of a slower one today. Usually there's a fair amount of action, but
You guys started off with doodles, okay? Look, I wasn't going to interrupt that. It literally has me reading one thing that was like, if players want to go off and do a fishing adventure, don't stop them.
Truly,
oh,
noodles
You
are
guys,
no.
sexy.
you guys want to go do noodles? Fuck it, we're gonna go do noodles. Just let me go Google what type of noodles there are. Well, there's pho and there's, Italian. There's Chinese. There's Japanese. There's Thai. I mean, there's so many different kinds of noodles. What are you looking for?
Funny, considering that basically every culture has developed some sort of noodle, completely independent of each other.
It's like the same theory how like that people believe that dragons were a real species because every culture has some version of dragon.
Yeah, must be. There might be more to this.
Mm.
Anyway, as always, thank you very much.
Yes, thank you
Oh
very,
god,
very
wait.
much.
Oh good. Thank you for producing it in Draconic. I appreciate that. Not that I can read it, but thank you for producing it in Draconic.
Wonderful, delightful.
You guys have a wonderful night. Oh good.
You as well.
Yep. And I will
Night,
see
folks.
y'all on next Wednesday.
Oh yeah.
Have a good night, everybody.
Take care, my dudes. Night, night.
All right.